Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Rooster Teeth Podcast. This week brought to you by NatureBox, Squarespace, and Upside. It's those. And also the Rooster Teeth store down there, I guess. I'm Gus.
I'm Gavin.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Kib.
And I'm also Gus. So we got Steven and Kib from Sugar Pine 7 with us this week, joining us. First time on the RT Podcast. It's actually the first time we met was just a little while ago, like I guess earlier this afternoon.
Yeah, you're the only person from RT I've never met.
I think I saw you guys at RTX trying to figure out how to get into an elevator.
You didn't help them?
You didn't help us?
I was in a hurry.
You just carried on not meeting them?
Figuring out how to get into an elevator.
But you had enough time to notice that we were struggling.
Yeah.
And
fair enough.
Probably.
That's how you grow.
Why were we struggling to get into an elevator?
I don't remember. You were like on the freight docks and you were trying to get up into an elevator.
As if you had to ask, dude.
Oh, no. It seems like it's something that could easily happen.
Yeah.
Oh, easily.
I was in a hurry. I was running somewhere. I was like, I should introduce myself. But then I thought, but then I'm going to be dragged into this elevator situation.
You know how these things work?
I'll just wait. Yeah.
You could have easily figured it out for us.
These people come with problems.
Yeah. I got my own shit I got to deal with.
What do you mean these people, Gavin? All right.
Ooh, frosty already. So yeah, you guys are in town for a couple days. And how often do y'all come to Austin?
We've missed the last 3 flights here. We were sick one of the times.
3.
What are other reasons? Yeah, 3 definitely, or 2 at least.
We literally
Maybe just
missed one, and then we made it, though. So 2, maybe 1 we missed and didn't come because the incident.
We missed one because someone was sick, and then we missed another because we didn't feel like going. And then the third one, I think there was a car accident or something. Was that what it was?
There was a car accident or something. I'm not really entirely...
There was something, I don't know, we just keep missing it. So we haven't been out here in like 3 months.
Yeah, there was a car.
It's an easy answer to that question.
there was a car accident that screwed up one of your trips. It was a small fender bender.
Minor fender bender.
Yeah. I've only ever been in one car accident, and it wasn't my fault. Like, I was driving down the road. It was really low speed. Like, I was driving down the road, and like some idiot who's going the other direction, like, just turned right in front of me. And so, like, I hit him. Like, the front of my car gets all fucked up. My wife was in the car with me at the side. I pull over to the side of the road, and I just started screaming because I was so mad at that guy for, like, pulling in front of me. And she was like, calm down. What's wrong with you? I was like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Like, I'm literally just going, like, 30 miles an hour down the road, and he just turns right in front of me. I was so fucking mad.
Like, if you're going to get in a car accident, you should at least be going 60. Make it worthwhile.
Or, like, or have it be my fault.
How did
Or
he
had it be your fault.
react to you?
Oh, he I got all pissed off. Then I get out of the car and I look at his car and it's like brand new. It still has dealer plates on. I'm like, okay, well at least he's pissed off too. Like at least it's not a piece of shit.
Did you intimidate him?
No, that wasn't my move. I was like,
Why is anger first though in that situation? Why wouldn't you be like, "Oh, you right? Are you on crack? What's up? Why'd you turn in front of me? Why would you?"
I don't give a fuck. It's like the elevator thing again. I don't give a fuck about this guy. Like
This guy came with a problem.
Right, he introduced a problem. Like I was fine. My day was going fine, and now I've got to deal with this shit. Right? It's like it's derailing me.
Yeah, but you're just screaming at a stranger. He can shoot you.
I screamed at my steering wheel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the normal reaction is just to get out of the car, be like, "Are you okay?" and then start screaming.
Yeah, I was like, "Do you have
You
insurance?"
just skip
one
straight to
step.
screaming.
Yeah.
So did you do all your screaming in the car, and then did you get out and you're like,
Oh.
"Oh, hi, can I?"
Yeah, hello. We should exchange insurance information.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I thought you meant you were screaming at him.
No, I was
Oh my
screaming.
God.
No, I was screaming in the car at my steering wheel.
I've gotten in 3 accidents, and I drove away every time. And they'll never catch
Kib
me.
hit this school of children that was going out at, like by.
Well, they shouldn't have been walking around in the
Wait,
park.
it wasn't a school bus. It was a school.
It was a school
Oh,
of
okay.
children, like a marching parade.
Can you hit and run a building? Does that even?
No, just
Well, no,
children.
it was like how you would say a school of fish.
Like
it was like a school of
like
children.
Murder of crows.
And I'll tell you,
Babbling of children.
Didn't regret
they're
a
all
thing.
dead. They're all dead now.
Every single one of them, every last one. Each one more dead than the last.
Every last drop.
Cut. The beauty of a live stream. Cut.
Have you ever been in an accident?
No, God. no.
No, actually. And I've driven across the continent.
Very cool. Who's calling me? Fareed's. Lewis is calling me right now.
Do we answer?
If you want, sure.
Oh, God.
Hello, Lewis. I'm trying to do Steve's voice.
Who is this? Is this Steven?
Of course.
You should tell him he's on the fucking mic.
Hi, it's amazing.
Say nothing you don't want on the Rooster Teeth podcast.
Oh, am I on right now?
That's
No.
right.
Well,
I'll
I mean,
see
we
you
booked
later.
him for the podcast, and you called him during the podcast, so I mean,
He hates being in content, so he probably hated that, right?
good.
Oh.
Yeah.
He will never let us put him in a bit. He walks away like, just leaves the room every single time.
At one point, we were trying to get something done, and he was coming into Achievement Hunter to, I assume, talk to Jeff about some nonsense that would derail our video.
Oh,
so I just pulled out my camera and ended up.
He just walked away.
And then we just filmed the Let's Play.
Oh my God, we have a a Lewis repellent.
We need more people like that. Run away from the camera.
Lewis never comes to us anyway.
Speaking of running away from the camera, I felt really bad. Apparently, we bumped James. He's over there. He's stewing at me.
Is
James?
James over there?
Is he over here somewhere?
Does he want my seat for a bit?
No, he apparently, who was it? Someone internally came to me and was like, "Hey, Sugar Pie Sam's going to be here. Do you want anyone?" I said, "Cool. We only have 2 seats. Let's get Steven and Kib on set." And no one told anybody else. And I just found out like right before the podcast. I was like, "Well, I feel terrible now." Again, this is a problem being introduced to me. It's like I thought this was already taken care of.
So do you take your anger out on people in the RT faculty?
Who gets the brunt of it?
No, I scream into my pillow a lot.
Oh, okay.
He has the special work pillow.
Yeah. I think I have a reputation externally of being really angry, but I don't think that's really true. What do you think? You spend a lot of time.
Not anymore.
What's that? Yeah. The people who make me angry go through Patrick to deliver messages.
But you seem so happy. Like you're just smiling and enjoying
we're
life.
on camera.
Used to be way more angry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you take something now?
No. I took about 39 years of living.
Have you guys ever tried meditating?
Old age.
No, I've never tried that.
Meditation?
I've actually tried it, and it's really nice. No, seriously, I legitimately learned how to meditate.
I'm not smiling for any reason. I believe you.
Do you want to know how you guys want to try it right now?
Wait. Before you tell us, how do you learn how to meditate?
There's like methods and ways that you have to think in your head to actually like do it and get to that meditation place.
So what if I'm thinking about like important shit in my
And
life?
that's exactly what you don't do. Well, you do, but then you you close your eyes and you imagine bubbles, and every thought that you have, you like
Wait.
pop it. You like pop it and goes away, and the next thought that comes up, you keep popping them and keep popping them and popping them until there's no thoughts, and you're just left with this.
But then I'm going to be literally thinking about bubbles and popping bubbles, and then I have to pop the bubble that's that.
pop the bubble of the bubbles, Gavin.
So you
I
imagine
downloaded-
popping bubbles, and then by the time you've popped the last bubble, you're
Well,
supposed
every
to be
thought
free?
you pop it. Yeah. By the time eventually you just do it and do it, and you won't have any more thoughts, and you'll just be left with a nice.
So I have to
serene
imagine
moment.
a thought, and then I have to imagine the thought as a bubble, and I pop the bubble. But what if I'm still thinking? What if the
You keep
thought
popping
comes
it.
out of the
Pop
bubble?
It. Pop it.
It's like Inception, right?
It is.
It's like bubbles within bubbles.
Bubbleception.
Eventually, you're just sat there drooling.
Exactly, and that's meditation. My version of it.
Do you have to do like, do you have to sit a certain way? Do you have to do like the lotus pose or something? Or
You
is
can
just
do it
like-
any way your heart desires, Gus.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You can be in your car screaming at your steering wheel, or you can be lying down in a
Who
bed.
taught you this?
You did.
I downloaded an app because someone was speaking about their meditation app, and I downloaded it. I was like, I'll give this a go. And then it was like, you have to pay for the service. And I thought, oh,
instantly never using it.
maybe not do that
Yeah.
right now. And then I thought maybe I'd get back to it if I really need it. I just
Never again.
did. I almost learned how to meditate though.
But some people.
That would be a great scam if you had like pay a nickel to meditate app.
Oh my
Like-
god! And then you're just thinking about how you paid for this. You're like, I could have done
No,
this
just
without
pop
it.
that bubble. Pop the nickel bubble.
I
Free.
sort of believe in meditation because I did one of those. Have you ever seen those pods where they fill it halfway with water and then it's like
Yeah,
room temperature
sensory
water and you just yeah.
deprivation.
I did one of those and it was the most peaceful thing I've ever done in my entire life. And
Did
I
you
felt
go
so
into
great
the upside
afterwards.
down?
No, but I farted and I had to like hotbox myself.
How long
So
does
you've
it
only
keep
got
you in
one
that?
sense, and it's the sense of smell.
How long are you in that tank when they do that?
An hour. You can go in longer though, but
Wow.
you can choose to have music on or you can choose to not have anything, which is what I did because I wanted the full experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I got in there. It wasn't working for about 10 minutes. And then I started thinking about high school, and then I just fell off.
And all the bad things you did to people in high school.
Yeah.
You bully.
And then I woke up and I farted a little bit, and then it's a little enclosed tank, so it just kind of like stunk it up.
I don't like really quiet spaces because I can hear my own ears.
Like
I can hear them.
moving?
I can hear. Have you ever had like a thing where you can almost hear the pulse of your blood in a vein in your ear?
Yeah.
No.
Well, like in a complete silent room.
Yeah, and I
Sometimes
can-
if you're lying a certain way and like things are just pressed in your body the right way, you can hear like.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I kind of like it.
It's trippy.
Did you guys know that Joe Rogan has his own like quiet room? What are they called? Where it's completely silent. It's got like tons of soundproof, and you can hear absolutely nothing.
A sensory deprivation center?
Sensory deprivation. Yep, that's the one potentially. I didn't know what they're called.
Yeah, we wanted to do, at one point we wanted to do a podcast in a room like that, and we were in contact with this military base out in California.
It's like a proper anechoic chamber.
Yeah, they have
God.
like the quietest room in the world.
Oh, that's amazing.
And we were like working through all of that. Like we had to submit like paperwork to get like clearance to go into this military base and to get into this room. And we ended up never doing it. I don't know what happened for.
I think it was
that.
I don't think I could go because I was foreign,
Oh right, that was
and that was
thing.
one of the reasons.
Oh,
but I
that's
think
why
it
we
was-
couldn't do Fear Factor.
Literally. Oh my God. We went through like all these like paperwork things. They're really stoked to work with us. And then we had an interview, and that was the last stage. Really excited about it. We get on for 2 seconds. She's like, "It says here you're Canadian," and we're like, "Oh yeah." She's like, "Do you have an O1?" Not yet. I'll see you later. It was that
All the
fast.
prep just out there. And I was so excited by that point because I was already psyching myself out on doing any reality TV thing.
So what's your favorite kind of cockroach to eat?
Bloodstone.
June bugs.
June bugs.
We do have a lot of cockroaches in our office. Is that what you're getting at?
No. That's like the fear factor thing, right? Like you got to eat a bug.
I feel like I would. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't think I'd have a problem with eating anything.
A live bug? Or
They
just
ask you what your biggest fears are, and I said heights and bees.
AIDS?
No, you got to lie
AIDS.
about that. It's like, what are
Dying.
your fears? Boobs,
Boobs.
You're actually
Oh
really
my
afraid of snakes, right?
beer.
I'm horrified of spiders mostly. Snakes as well. One time I was in like a little hut. Little,
you in a hut?
I was a little hut, like a little boathouse hut. Oh, okay. And I lift up a life jacket off the ground. A snake just falls out onto my foot. And I was just like, ah, and flew back faster than.
Is that
light.
what caused the fear, do you think?
That definitely like.
I'm afraid of bees
It's a
because
huge
I was on a bicycle
contribution.
as a kid. My mom was afraid of bees, so we were on like a double bicycle.
Your
and
mom got stung.
My mom was afraid of bees, and we fell off the bicycle. I think from then on, I've just assumed bees were the most dangerous creatures.
I was attacked by a swarm of bees and chased for like a good kilometer.
How'd you escape?
Run? My brother and I ran. We stepped in like we were in this like clay. I don't even know, like a clay mine or something. And we were just digging up. We were
So many weird
young and
places.
playing with clay on
A shack, a
a
shanty town, a
nature
clay.
wake. A nature
mine.
wake.
I feel
as
like
they
running
say.
a kilometer would be slightly overkill for one bee.
Sometimes
They
they
followed
chase
us.
you.
They followed us. though.
Wasps will chase far.
They may have been wasps actually, because they were in the ground.
And there's a bunch of them.
We stepped on
Mud
their
daubers,
whole
probably.
their whole colony, and then they just stung millions of times all over our bodies, and we died and ran away from them as fast and far as we could, and they chased us.
Well, the stings like power you, right? Like it gives you adrenaline to
Oh,
run
absolutely.
faster.
Hop to fence like stung a million times. I hate bees also.
When I was a kid, I felt like when I would grow up that bees would be a bigger problem than they were. Because
Yeah.
it's like when you're a kid, like I felt like I was outside more, so I would get stung by bees every now and then. And like in the late 80s, early 90s, there was that thing like, oh, there's killer bees coming from South Africa. They're going to swarm over the country and they're
Was
going to
it
kill
The
so many
massive
people.
ones that they talk about in the mysteries of the Avalon.
Yeah.
You lost me.
Well, thank God they're all dying off.
Yeah, but yeah, fuck bees, right? But yeah, that's like, and now I'm an adult. I can't remember the last time I was stung by a bee. It's probably been like 20 years, maybe longer.
Really? You evaded bees for that long?
Yeah, I'm a big bee
That's
evader.
incredible.
They're looking for me to this day.
I was stung by a baby bee recently. Remember we were filming that thing and I smacked and tried to smoke them out of the thing?
I don't remember that at all. You
Yeah,
got
the little
stung by
green
a-
ones at my apartment complex.
Oh yeah, you got stung hardcore.
Tell them about it.
I don't remember it even
neither.
the slightest. I'm trying to act like I'm laughing, like I know what the story is right now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, you
It
got
was a
stung
baby
hardcore.
bee.
He was a little green. I don't even know if it was a bee or if it was a
green bee.
wasp. What kind of bee it was? It was a green bee with a bad attitude, and he stung me on my back. And
Sounds like a little cartoon character.
green bee with a bad attitude.
Oh, you guys swelled up for weeks.
Oh yeah.
You guys vape so much, you would think the smoke would calm them.
It's sugary smoke, so unfortunately, it only attracts.
It makes it worse.
What does the vaping look like from an outside perspective? Because for us, we know it's embarrassing, but it's an addiction at this point.
When you did it, it was really intimidating
Really?
because
Me?
not when you did it, when Steven did it.
But
Because he did it really hard. He like sucked it extremely hard.
We were told not to vape. I'm pretty sure that's a thing. We can't vape
No one told us not to.
You mean
vape.
in here?
I don't recall
in
that.
here. Yeah, on
Yeah,
the
Patrick
podcast.
said it
side.
might be
Happen,
bad
I
for the
don't think.
lights.
I don't
But then
think the
Kib
conversation happened.
practiced his master negotiation skills.
It's called
was like-
do it anyway.
He was like, how about a little bit of
Ask
vaping?
for permission
like-
and then ask for permission and forgiveness.
I guess if you're just gonna do it anyways, just do it. But
I was talking to a dude on set recently who vaped all the time, and then one time I saw him with a cigarette, and I was like, "Why? What's the point if you vape?" He's like, "Well, something that was quite nice about smoking cigarettes is that everyone left, and got
Oh.
away from you, or they would hate the smell and like move away. But with vaping, it's like, oh, it's a nice smell. So sometimes he actually genuinely wants to be alone, and he's like, I'll just go back to a cigarette for that one.
why
'cause he
not
gets
just
some
be
alone
like,
time.
hey, I need some alone time.
Because it's like you don't want that confrontation every
That's
time you want to
true.
be
That's
alone.
embarrassing.
A lot of people smoke or use vapes to get away from cigarettes, but I think ours is slowly leading into cigarettes.
I don't think so. You think you're gonna smoke cigarettes now?
I already am.
Is
Alright.
vaping not as strong as a cigarette?
Much less. Much less.
What if you do two?
Much less even.
Two vapes at the same time. Is that what you're saying?
We've done that
That's something we've done,
many
Oh, yeah?
times.
just like a cigarette.
No, it's much less than a cigarette, dude.
Well, I mean, it's based on milligrams, right? So like a cigarette is what, like 30 or 30 to 50?
Yeah, something like maybe it's like 28 or something like that. I'm not sure.
And then we're just smoking 6 milligrams on this. So
So it's
we're
significantly less.
So is-
and there's no carcinogens in
The whole
in
vape
vaping.
cartridge is 6 milligrams. Or is it like per puff?
I think it's just that I don't know.
We don't know shit, Gavin.
We don't know.
He
We're
was
not
going to drink
nearly
4 beers.
well-informed enough.
He was really excited about it.
Did you want me to drink beers?
He was like, I can drink 4 bottles at once. And he was adamant that he could do it.
Yeah, well, I did, and I would do it again if the time came and if I was asked to. If I was told to. Right now, I would do it if I was told to right now.
I feel like that's something that would make a huge mess.
Yeah.
It will.
But, no, but to be fair, honestly, you said you could open your gullet. And I think that's an impressive skill.
I can open my gullet.
And just pour stuff straight down
and
the hole.
Shantai, maybe.
No, he can't.
You can't.
If I was asked to do it, I would do it. If I was asked to do it.
I'm just gonna have one.
If you want to open your gullet, it's
I just
good
want
to
a
put
beer.
a good thing
I'll
in
have
your
one too.
gullet, like Nature Box.
Ah,
And I want to remind everyone that this episode of the Rooster Teeth Podcast is brought to you indeed by Nature Box. We all want to eat better, but when it comes to snacks, sometimes it feels like the whole world is delicious and a billion calories versus boring and tasteless. Doesn't have to be that way, so up your snack game with Nature Box. What are you looking for? Here. Nature Box has over 100 snacks that taste good and are actually better for you. All snacks are made from high quality, simple ingredients, which means no artificial colors, flavors, or sweeteners, so you can feel good about what you're eating. And they got great things like apple and cinnamon oatmeal and crunchy barbecue twists. They're delicious and they don't weigh you down. Be sure to find your new snack obsession at Nature Box. They add new snacks every month inspired by real customer feedback, the latest food trends, and professional chefs. It's so simple. Just go to naturebox.com, choose the snacks you want, and NatureBox will deliver them right to your door, and there's no risk. If you ever try a snack you don't like, don't eat it. NatureBox will replace it for free. Right now, NatureBox is offering Rooster Teeth fans 50% off your first order when you go to naturebox.com/roosterteeth. That's naturebox.com/roosterteeth for 50% off your first order. naturebox.com/roosterteeth. Thank you, NatureBox, for sponsoring this episode of the Rooster Teeth Podcast and for sending us delicious snacks.
That sounds delicious.
Now, you guys are
so
big
good.
Kevin Spacey fans, right?
Oh yeah, I noticed. I was flipping through Netflix the other day, and like they've replaced like the icon on
Yep.
House of
Yeah.
Cards. Like now he's just gone from it. Like the big one on top, like he's still there, but like the smaller little icons, he's just gone from.
He's still going to get a payout for this next season, I heard.
I imagine.
Yeah.
So,
Like millions upon
they had
millions.
started production. I think they had like filmed 2 episodes of the 10-episode season, and then they just stopped it. I guess they have to rewrite it or figure out what they're going to do now because it was already supposed to be the final season. Do you guys watch House of Cards?
No, I don't even watch it.
I feel like they should just disregard everything that happened after season 2. Because how many times can you watch a guy just try to make it in politics? Like, he already did everything twice. The first 2 seasons were incredible, and then it just dropped off.
Which one was it? It was season 4 that I thought kind of dragged. That was the one with like a lot of the Russian president subplot.
Yeah, I thought season 3 and 4 just felt like fillers.
Yeah.
And then, did season 5 come out? I don't
Yeah,
remember.
it has come out. I haven't seen it
how many
yet.
episodes per season?
Typically
13?
10 to 13, somewhere in that range. Yeah.
It's the same with every American show though, because it does well. They just keep making it. But like a lot of my favorite British shows, they'll do 6 episodes for one season, then they'll do a second season. That's it. It's
6 episodes. Yeah, because that's considered what, like a mini season, you guys call them?
6 was just normal TV before.
Like that's what you guys would call a season, 6 episodes.
Yeah,
right?
we call it series, but yeah.
Well, it's like, well,
But
I
then-
mean,
but
you
then-
look at like Black Mirror, right? Like Black Mirror has like 3-episode seasons.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but whenever Americans ask the creators of these British shows why they don't make more, it's like, well, we told the story. It was like we just be making up new crap now that it's kind of irrelevant to the.
So
I
you
can
guys
see
have
why they-
integrity, we have profit, baby. It's as simple as that.
Who rules the world?
Well, that's
There's
why
a nice
Breaking Bad
America
ended.
does, baby.
It's true. Breaking
Bad
Bad, there
was
was
a great
the final season was. I don't think it was good though. As good.
They could have removed some, but it had some of the best episodes. But there was a lot of stuff
yeah.
that they probably could have trimmed down.
Their villains weren't that great in that season. I mean, I think their best villain ended after a while. I don't want to give Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
That best villain was Gus.
Now,
but
because
then
we just talked about
Thank
Breaking
you.
Bad, I want to ask your opinions
No.
on Ozark. I don't want Steve to say
They
anything.
haven't seen it.
You haven't seen Ozark at all.
I've seen it.
I haven't. I saw y'all talking about it though on your podcast.
What do you think of Ozark?
Medium.
Really? I thought it was
Dude,
amazing.
cheers.
Because well, actually, at first, I don't know if I was just in a tired, bad mood or something. I found the first few episodes just to be so depressing, and I was trying to apply it to my life. Like, oh, what if
What if I was?
what if all
smuggling?
my life went wrong? And I was like, wait, why am I? I'm not this guy. I'm not like a drug. It
You
was
were
like
relating way too much. You're like, this is making me sad.
it was giving me some sort of weird, predictive anxiety, and then it was okay at the end.
I really
Oh, you
liked
watched it all the way through.
Yeah,
What would you give it out of 10?
6.
Wow. Well, Steve disliked it. Steve probably would give it a
No,
4.
I would give it a 6 out of 10 because it had redeeming qualities.
It was
course.
cool. It was very blue and green.
I just like that it felt as though it was in the same universe as Breaking Bad, and it was a different story. There were similarities. There were character similarities as well
I
with the
think I
relationship.
would have enjoyed it more if I hadn't seen Breaking Bad.
Yeah, because you're comparing it. You're like,
Yeah.
this is a ripoff of Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
But like, I like that because I haven't seen a show in so long that I was just hyped about in the same way as Breaking Bad. Other shows in different ways, but like as being a part of like the cartel and the whole drug world, and like it was just cool. I just really liked Ozark.
I
It
started.
was a yeah. There's some things I would say, but it's very spoilerish.
I finally started watching The Handmaid's Tale the other day.
Oh,
which
my fiance watches that all the time.
I'd never seen it. I was like, I don't get it. I don't know what it's about. I started watching it.
Depressing.
It's really fucking good.
It's so depressing. It
Yeah.
makes me so sad. I don't know how Alyssa watches that.
Yeah, but it's good. I mean, I think it's really compelling. But yeah,
It is. They have a lot of depth of field in
downer.
that show.
Yeah.
Do you like to be made sad by shows?
I like to feel anything.
Are you just too happy and
I just want to feel
Finally
something.
feel something.
Yeah. But that was really good. What else I started watching? I tried to watch Mindhunter because everyone's like losing their shit over that.
I've heard about that too. Yeah.
But the first episode was like it starts great and then it's like so slow. And then everyone's like, wait, you gotta watch the second one. You gotta watch the second one. I was like, okay, man, I'll get to it.
Did you think the conversations between him and her, the hippie girl, and they were just weird?
Yeah, that was just a weird relationship. Like even the way that they meet and they first start talking at that bar.
I'm a huge fan of Fincher. I really am. And it's just, I wished the rest of the series was like the first scene. But then I've talked to people that hate the first scene in that, and they like the rest of it. And I learned people have different opinions, I guess.
Yeah.
Not always right.
I'm sure I'll go back and finish it. I'll keep watching it. Just like there's so much shit to watch. Like there's so many things out there that people are talking about and excited about. Like Ozark. Like everyone fucking raves about it. I've got a million things to watch before I even think about that. On top of like
so
other
worth it.
video games and other shit I gotta
Yeah.
get done.
yeah.
Did you hear about Tarantino's next movie?
No.
The Charles Manson murders?
No.
It's gonna be insane.
I mean, despite all the things that...
Isn't this supposed to be his last movie or does he have another one?
I don't know if this is going to be his last movie. I feel like everybody, I mean, even Daniel Day-Lewis is like, this is my last movie, and then he's doing Phantom Thread now. So it's like, everybody comes back. But
Except Harvey Weinstein.
he's coming back.
He's coming back hard.
Him, Kevin Spacey,
Louis C.K.
Louis C.K., they're all going
Yeah,
to make a big
wow.
production company funded by Weinstein. They're going to make the... Never mind.
But it's crazy because I have... Like, I can't think of a proper way to articulate it. I've been wanting to say it, but I can't. I haven't figured out the elegant way to say it, so I'm just going to say it the blunt way. I've never shown my dick to anybody who didn't expect it. It's like, I don't understand how you get over that hump where you're like, oh, maybe I'll just bring my dick out. Like, we'll see how it goes. Like, I don't understand. Like, I just can't wrap my head around
Like Louis
that way of
C.K.'s
thinking.
whole thing is just like, it's so gross and awful, but like it's funny in the sense of like, who goes, hey, mind if I masturbate in front of you? Like, that's so stupid, dude. God.
Yeah.
Like, it's...
Yeah,
I think the best word is just gross.
Yeah.
It's just gross.
And unnecessary.
The worst part
I
about
mean,
that is...
I just don't understand the appeal. Like it's clearly his thing. Like he gets off on that.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
guess.
sure there's like an equivalent for me of what it'd be, but
it's a power thing.
Just as
Is it
gross,
there?
if not
Yeah, it has
worse.
to be because
Gavin.
he could just go to a prostitute.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what but he probably gets off on the hype of, you know,
The
are they
danger
going to
of it.
want it? And then I don't care if they do or don't.
He laughs like that too. And it's the worst part about that is that I don't think anything he did is going to turn out to be illegal because he asked and they said yes. But I mean, their argument is that they felt like he was in a place of power and they had to do this, which is
Right.
it's a terrible thing. But it's like I don't think any legal action can come from it.
Well, isn't there something to do
It's
with
like a loophole.
isn't there something to do with like your superior? I guess they don't directly work under him, so he's
Exactly,
not
yeah.
their superior.
It's
Like,
just he's in a position
business.
of power in the
Yeah, just the industry in
so
general.
just,
Yeah,
you know.
that's true.
You guys have a lot of that here.
Oh, yeah. I've seen so many dicks.
Who's jerking off in front of people here? Tell me now. Is it Gavin?
Have I ever seen a dick at work?
You guys have HR here, right?
Yeah, we do.
we do.
Do they work a lot here?
They have weird issues probably to contend with.
Do you guys have a lot of secret stuff you never talk about?
Yeah, there's some stuff that doesn't get talked about. I think that happens anywhere.
Tell us. What is it?
Well, just between you and me,
Okay.
Gavin, he's a predator.
Yeah, I knew it.
He's serial.
First moment.
Cereal.
Yeah.
Well, at the SourceFed office, people would
eat
pull out
lots
their
of cereal.
balls and just stick them up against windows.
Well, that's a family, dude.
That's you know what? And now I don't think so much that that anyone could get away with that. But that was definitely a thing in the past. Not
so
me.
funny.
I wasn't there when it happened.
I had my
definitely-
clothes off here.
I've definitely become more aware that I might offend someone. Like it was before all these scandal things, but we have a bunch of fake dicks all around the office.
As
and
you should.
And I thought I'll pop one through, and I'll give be a little shock
Give
factor.
someone a
Oh
scare.
yeah, pop one
Because
through.
someone will be like, "Oh,
is
no,
that
it's a
your
fake
dick? No, oh, it's not.
And then I thought I shouldn't even be doing it with a fake dick, so I just didn't do it.
That's a
Because
good
it just
decision,
felt
dude.
wrong. But I feel like a few years ago I would have just been like, "Woo!"
And yeah, that's probably the place where there's the most dick visible is in the Achievement Hunter office.
Yeah, everywhere.
Dick
I
and
think
balls.
there's areas
actual
that
dick,
are
though.
more accepted with that. Like the Achievement Hunter office should have that happen.
But we don't actually ever see each other's dicks. Like
Have
the
you seen
only
Jeff's dick?
the only dick I've seen is Jeff's, and that was like 6 or 7 times. But
And how was
not
it?
not at work. It's great.
Can I get
it
a
good dick?
detailed
Nice and
analysis?
straight.
Oh, so it was fully
Circumcised.
hard.
No, it was sort of semi at the time.
Sort of.
Wow. Who was around? Who do you think was the cause of that?
He's only
was?
kind of into you then.
Yeah. He was curious.
But I don't know. It's like, what is the line at this point? Just don't ever. I don't know. Just play it safe.
Yeah. So
don't
who is
have
this?
your dick and balls out unless
I
someone
think
asks
people
you
just
to.
need to double think things because it's pretty easy to figure out a line.
You just get very comfortable with the people you work with to the point where, like, when this company was a lot smaller, it was a lot easier to fling a fake dick around.
No
But
HR.
now it's the point where
Perhaps
it's like,
fling a real dick around.
someone can misconstrue it. Someone who isn't in the room might glance it from afar, and it's like,
So
how do I then prove it wasn't my real penis?
And then you're screwed. Well, it was pink and had diamonds on it. So that's your first indicator.
people can tweet us if they want, if they're watching this live using hashtag RT Podcast. And I see a comment here. It's from Dallas Lynch at the Mega Man.
Is it mean?
Talking about no, it's good. Talking about
Why you got Mr. Clean on the podcast?
talking about like masturbating in front of people. He says, I can't imagine my dog seeing me do that. Never mind another human. Right? Like
No, yeah, I get so uncomfortable masturbating in front of my pets.
Which you do.
I mean, yeah, it's like I double think it, and I think they're just basically not going to understand it, so I have to.
Also, in moments of intimacy, like even if you were doing like a hot couple thing, like jerking it in front of each other,
Yeah.
at least you're both doing it. And then I feel like if you're
thinks
masturbating
it's
and two people aren't into it, they're going to be analyzing all of your worst parts.
Oh, man,
the
yeah.
faces, the grunts.
And Louis
they're
C.K.
gonna be-
is not going to have an attractive naked body, let alone him with his, like, let me do my stand-up bit also. You know?
I don't know. I think it's the thing with it was just amazingly successful and probably wanted to feel again.
who knows? So like all this talk made me think about. Last week I saw this website where some professor had transcribed graffiti that he had found at the Pompeii site. You know, Pompeii was that village that was like that the volcano eruption. And I was reading this. So this is like, who knows how old this graffiti is? I don't know when Pompeii happened. It's like, let's say it's 1,000 years old. And it's weird how similar graffiti and body talk is between that time and today.
Huh.
It's like, here, I'll read the first one. And it says where it was inscribed and, whatnot. So this was inscribed at a bar. It says, "Weep, you girls. My penis has given you up. Now it penetrates men's behinds. Goodbye, wondrous femininity."
Wow. You know what? I relate to that.
Some lovely
What?
coming out graffiti.
Yeah, and there's another one.
It's
It was
so
at
eloquently
a bar.
spoken.
"I screwed the barmaid." Not quite as eloquent.
Oh my gosh.
But it's like
follow-up.
you would that's like you would expect to see that like at you walk into a bar and like you see like graffiti on the toilet stalls. You see that
Someone
kind
really
of stuff.
proud and needing to share with anyone.
I wonder who the Louis C.K. of Pompeii was.
I have buggered men.
Wow, these
bit
are
of-
really
bit of
A lot of
homoerotic.
people talking about having sex with men.
Blondie has taught me to hate dark-haired girls. I shall hat them if I can, but I wouldn't mind loving them.
Oh,
He doubled back. Why?
immediately.
I don't know. It's just really weird to
And
like read this.
what does it
I'd
mean to
kill them
hat
if I
them?
could, but I also want to love them.
What does it mean to hat somebody?
I don't know.
Hack or
Hat.
hat? He said hat?
To hat somebody, yeah.
Maybe
Wear 'em.
it's too off. Perhaps.
Oh no.
Mount Vesuvius erupted in the year 79. So it's like almost 2,000-year-old graffiti.
Wow. I hope it's
year
just Lil Wayne
79.
lyrics.
That'd be a great thing.
Did it sound like I was defending Louis C.K.
Oh,
a
look.
little bit earlier?
Yes, it did, and
Is that
you were.
graffiti?
I would like to point
Oh,
out.
wow.
That's the graffiti.
This
from
one
Pompeii?
says, pop that pussy like do it, do it,
Plagiarism. Yeah, I don't condone the CK stuff.
Oh, you really like him?
I liked his comedy. What he did.
I don't
was
think anyone
filth.
condones
No, I was so
jerking off in
disappointed.
front of people.
I think that was
Yeah.
the one person when all the allegations were coming out. That was the one person I really didn't want to have anything come out from. which
That
is
was
weird.
the only one I knew was coming too.
Wow.
It was like the rumor, like when all this stuff was coming, it's like just wait for Louis C.K. I was like, what?
Well,
what are
they
you
had already
doing?
rumored it for like a couple of years in the past.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. I had no idea.
Yeah, I was talking with Steven about this before we started taping here, but my wife and I were talking over the weekend, like, who's the other one? Like, people always say, like, it would be so disappointing if you heard anything bad about Tom Hanks. Like, who's another person that would be, like, at the top of your list? And
One,
independently,
2, 3. Steve Carell.
We
Jim
came up
Carrey.
with the same people.
I can see that though.
Jim Carrey would
Carrey's
crush me.
fucking
I
weird.
wouldn't continue doing anything if I found out he was doing awful
Was he a
things.
hero of yours?
Of course.
Yeah, he was
dude.
like my number
He's
one hero. man.
Canadian. He wrote that check for $1 million that he cashed.
He also had the girlfriend who committed suicide.
Yeah, recently that's actually really interesting.
Yeah.
Because there's rumors that he, made her do it, or maybe he killed her or something, and they were into Scientology and
I haven't heard about this.
yeah, it's really interesting. I would read up.
I
on
don't
it.
know any of the details. I just knew that she killed herself.
but maybe it was Jim. Jim, if you're watching, did you do it? Let me know in the
Just tweet
comments.
it with hashtag Archie Podcast.
He's just
gonna
watching it. Alrighty then.
He's gonna face a trial. I haven't heard about any of this.
Jim Carrey's gonna be on trial?
It says he will face a wrongful death trial over the suicide of his late ex-girlfriend.
Wow.
The difference between 2016 and 2017 regarding celebrities is colossal.
Truly.
Yeah, people thought 2016 was
Was
bad,
bad for
and
celebrities.
shitty.
Oh
They
no,
were
all my
all
favorite
dropping
celebrities
dead.
are dying,
Did
and
you
now
guys hear
it's so
about
different.
OJ? What the fuck?
Oh man, yeah, it's like you almost hope that they die and they're gone before like they do anything bad or like
that
any of the
scene from
bad
Rick
stuff
and Morty
happens.
with their prince, that blue prince that tried to rape Morty in the bathroom stall.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my god, that was fucked up, dude.
Yeah. And then they
Such a fucking tease.
and then they had that whole bit in the end where they had this box of proof of the terrible things that prince has done, and then he showed it to this jester, and whoever was part of their political party, and was like, he closed the box and was like, no, it's just the idea of him that needs to live on, you know.
Jesus.
That's very, very much like Roy Moore in the Alabama Senate race these days. Another one that's everywhere. It's fucking crazy.
Just wait till the allegations about Steve come out.
So has this
That I
happened
made up.
before? Has this happened before where just giant waves of celebrities was taken down by scandal? Like, is this like a repeat of a previous moment in history, or is
I'm
this
sure.
the first like
It has
big
to be.
wave of?
I feel like this is the first big wave.
I feel like a lot of these issues wouldn't necessarily have been seen as huge issues 50 years ago.
Well, do you think
So,
that
like-
the advent of social media helps give people a voice to where they can all be heard and like stuff like this surfaces easier
Absolutely,
than before?
yeah.
Yeah.
Because like in the past, maybe
Where do you say
someone who
it,
did
man?
something wrong would just pay people off and they wouldn't be able to connect and they wouldn't know that there's a pattern of this stuff.
Definitely harder to get the word out anyway, even if you
Yeah.
wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, weren't they paying, like Weinstein in particular? Was he not paying like news organizations, or he threatening people that did have allegations? I know he went to, I don't remember if he went to the Prime Minister of Israel or like the past one to try to get this. I forget the group that he went to do this, but it was a group that specializes in like digging up dirt on people, and he went to them and tried to get dirt on everybody that made allegations against him and threatened them.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's like when you're going
It's
when you're
fucked.
approaching like government level stuff, like that's super fucked.
It's like really, yeah. And then also it's crazy how much power people in the industry of Hollywood like have to go and get a group like that to just work out your own business
Yeah.
issues. It's just, I hope I have that power someday.
Well, that's why you live in LA, right? You're fucking trying to climb that ladder.
Oh God, I hate it.
Don't show it to anyone who doesn't want to see it.
And he showed it to me, but if I say something, I lose my job. It's green.
He knows his place.
We call it the mean green and fighting get bad boy. That's what we call it around the office.
I'm not necessarily proud of it.
But he's not proud of it.
Y'all are disgusting.
There's just got to be so many people in the industry who are, came up in maybe a different time, who are just shitting themselves right now.
Yeah. I mean, I assume that there's still, tons of people who've done bad things who are worried that they're going to be next. I mean, you never know. It seems like it's a different person every day now.
Yeah.
As sad as it is that all these people are affected, I think this is going to really prevent this happening again.
Good.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's good to make an example of like just disgusting
Just the
things
fact that
happening and power being taken
All of
advantage
these super rich, successful people have been taken down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, the shotgun effect, I mean, you want to always side with the victim and everything. I think, there are sides to this where people are like, oh man, is this going to devalue, like all these allegations that are coming out, is this going to devalue, like, I mean, if there are some that aren't true, is this going to devalue other people that try to come out, But I feel like the shotgun effect is definitely going to help. And it's just going to hopefully change the way people, not only in Hollywood, but just people in any industry think in general. Yeah, that'd be nice.
It's already making Gavin rethink his penis usage in the Achievement
Did you
Hunter
rethink that
office.
before all
false
the
penis
allegations
usage.
against you?
What's that?
Did you rethink the penis dildo thing and before all the allegations came out?
Yeah.
I don't even like joking about it. Like,
You don't make light of
terrifying.
it.
No, yeah.
Yeah. No. I hear you.
Poor Gavin.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I don't think we're making light of it or making fun of it. You know, I think we all agree it's a good thing. It's not a good thing that it happened. It's a good thing that people are speaking out and that you know people who've done this kind of thing are being taken down. But it's such a like we already said. I mean, I'm repeating myself now, but it's such a bizarre mindset. I can't put myself in that place to do that kind of stuff. Like, did y'all hear about that subreddit that got banned?
Was it the Weinstein effect?
No, it was a subreddit called Incels. Have y'all heard about this?
Mm-mm.
No.
Incels.
It stood for men who are involuntary celibate. And it was like this misogynistic group who blamed women for the fact that they couldn't get girlfriends.
Jesus Christ.
And they would write these awful things about how like society was out against them. And
Oh, it's like that video that guy left before he shot a bunch of people. The young guy who said that like no girls would date him and it was their fault.
oh yeah, there was stuff about him in that subreddit as well.
Self-reflect a little, you know? That's it. Good
I can't
God.
believe that's actually a subreddit.
It
That's so
was.
fucking weird.
It's gone. Yeah, it's good that it's gone.
What was the reason they got rid of it?
What's that?
What was the reason they got rid of it?
I
Was there,
don't
like,
know
something in
what-
particular that happened?
I don't know what finally. I don't think there was any one thing that made them like push
the
them over the
accumulation
edge.
of them
It was
being
just,
shitty
like-
people?
Yeah, I
But
think
it's
there were
like-
like 40,000 people subscribed to it.
It's a huge deal when a subreddit gets deleted, though, right? Because it very rarely happens.
Yeah. Because normally it's supposed to be a very like egalitarian free speech
Yeah,
platform.
freedom.
And then people are reminded that it's a private company and they can do what they want. Just like with Twitter with stopping the verification thing. It's like people are like, no, you can't just. I mean, off of giving giving alt-right people verification, and they're doubling back on that. And
Did
people
they
are like,
end
And
verification?
now we'll never get
They paused
it's
verified.
on hold, I think, right?
Yeah.
Unless Rooster Teeth can make it happen.
They
Nah.
yeah, I tweeted something about that about them verifying someone who promotes violence and hate speech, and someone replied to me defending this person and was like, well, they deserve a voice too, just because you don't agree with them. I was like, they have a voice. They signed up for an account. Like it's like once you get the check mark, it's like a legitimizing that voice. Then it's a different thing.
No, I definitely agree with that everybody should have a say, no matter what they believe. But getting verified, that's Twitter's decision, and it's a private company. And if they don't want to give me verification, that's fine. Fuck it.
Are you not verified?
No,
There's
they
nothing
hate
I
us.
can do.
We've applied countless times
It's just a joke.
Why'd you want it?
just to feel like I matter on Twitter. I think it's just so cool.
I get it because people are. The only reason I want it right now is just because it keeps. I never really bring it up, but people just keep bringing it up to me, like, "Haha, you're not verified." And
You know how hard I was trying
that
to get
laugh was a little bit of a
verified
cry.
It sounded a little bit sad.
But-
Pat your leg.
It would just be. I don't even. You know what? I don't care at this point.
before you do.
I mean, look at me. Do I look like I care about it?
I'm trying so hard to get verified before Steve, so hard, and it just will never happen.
And I would
now.
be grateful if you got verified.
Do you know how good that would be for the world if I got it before you did?
Who would benefit?
Oh man, so
I
many
can think of
people.
one person.
So many people. I know one person. He knows one person. We all know a person.
That's like 12 billion people.
That's like 12 billion people, dude.
Yeah.
If you think about the latter.
I would like to have an intervention for Gus.
Go ahead.
Your Bitmoji thing
Oh
It-
no.
is crap, and you think it's funny.
I'm gonna send you one right now.
It's just so bad.
What's wrong with it? What's wrong with it?
I never thought I would want to mute someone who co-founded Rooster Teeth.
What's wrong with it?
Why?
Do you use it inappropriately, Gus?
No.
Too much, perhaps?
No, I mean define too much. What
here's
is
Here's what
too
happens.
much?
Here's why it's so annoying. I'll tweet something, not at you. You'll just chime in with a Bitmoji.
Oh, Gus.
And then all of the replies to my tweet, which, I want to read the replies to my tweet, they're actually replying to Gus's Bitmoji telling him to
See,
stop.
I'm getting you more replies.
And I don't want them. I actually want relevant replies. And all I'm getting is a bunch of people I follow yelling at you for using a Bitmoji, and then people yelling at each other for that. It's like,
You
I don't
talking about that here is only going to make that worse.
Gus, rule
Guarantee
number
it.
one.
I can just mute him.
Rule number one with Bitmoji is you can only send a Bitmoji to someone in a private conversation who also has Bitmoji. I think that's the only appropriate time to use it.
Oh, I might use it a bit too much.
Are these all of your tweets?
Good. It's up on the screen.
Look, almost every tweet.
Look at the last. Look at the most.
He thinks he found
killing
something
it.
that's like so unique that he.
Oh, there's pizza, Gus.
Gus, they don't stop. Good Lord, Gus.
Oh my god.
If that's it,
so
all right,
good.
that's not
Can't
it.
be real. How long
There's
does this go
more.
on for? When did you start this?
There's more.
That was like months ago.
This
Gus,
is
how
like
long have you had it?
mid-October by this point.
3 a day, perhaps, Gus?
Maybe. I've got a 3-a-day Bitmoji habit.
It's like
Trying to break it.
80% of your content.
It's so good.
It's not good. Why do you think it's good?
So proud of it.
There's a Bitmoji for everything. There really is.
Literally a Bitmoji for
Do you
everything.
think the correct response to my tweet last night was you walking on a rake or whatever it was?
If
was
I
your
had given,
tweet?
so here's specifically
about
why I
that,
gave you the rake one. I reply to your tweets via text regularly, and you never acknowledge them or respond to them.
sounds like
I
Steve.
replied with a Bitmoji, and we're talking about it right now. So I know you saw it.
We're not talking
you
about
have
the subject.
you have created this
We're not
monster.
talking about
this is your fault,
opinion.
Gavin.
Fuck you,
Gavin.
only
Be a better
talking
friend,
about
dude.
the Bitmoji. That completely makes it irrelevant.
We're talking about my tweet to you.
Can I just get the context of this? What was your tweet that he replied to Rake to?
Oh, so because I think it's bullshit. The current iPhone, the iOS 11, they switched the video codec to be like a super efficient one. I think it's called high efficiency video codec.
EVC, yeah.
So it takes up less space or whatever. But if you put that on your Mac, it don't work.
Huh.
It works in iMovie, but
It works in
not Final
iMovie.
Cut Pro.
It works in QuickTime 10 if you've got High Sierra or whatever. But you
Well-
can't actually do anything with it. And in Photos, if you've got like pre-2015 Mac, it just doesn't work at all.
And this was somehow a tweet?
I was
you made this into a
bitching that-
tweet?
I was bitching that Apple don't support a codec that Apple uses and is just a standard codec.
That's
at this
insane. That is absolutely
point.
insane.
It is insane.
That's
I mean, they
insane.
do
I
support
find it boring.
It is a little
And I
boring,
thought
but
Gus
it's,
was
but it's
maybe just trying to
insane.
lighten up the mood
No,
around
no,
your
no.
tweet, so it makes
I agree.
makes a little bit of sense.
It was a boring tweet, and I was frustrated.
I'm just
and
verifying
Gus
that.
took advantage of you.
Right.
Okay,
It is
I
in
get it.
fact
Rake in the face.
insane.
It's classic comedy.
It's classic comedy.
Right,
That's
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you use cameras, right? And you film things and you edit things.
very true. I
Suddenly,
have codec issues a lot.
suddenly your camera doesn't work with your computer. Annoying.
Well, I don't use a Mac.
Annoying or not annoying? Was the question.
I wasn't specifically talking about Mac. I was just trying to make you feel what I feel.
Good luck with that.
You want to feel something. It's just like me. Scream into a steering wheel. You'll be fine. Here, I'm going to read something else here.
Bullshit.
I want to remind everyone this episode of the Receipt Podcast is also brought to you by Squarespace. Whether you need a domain, website, or online store, make your next move with Squarespace. Squarespace offers beautiful, award-winning designer templates. You can create a beautiful website or online store with an award-winning template. It's an all-in-one platform. There's nothing to install, patch, or upgrade ever. They've made it easy to set up or transfer your domain on Squarespace. Instead of working with multiple vendors to maintain your online presence, you're able to manage all of your domain and building settings with Squarespace and take advantage of their easy-to-use DNS interface. It's never been easier to sell your products or services online. Squarespace allows you to manage your products, orders, and inventory easily. Start your free trial today at squarespace.com. Go to squarespace.com/roosterteeth. Get 10% off your first purchase. That's squarespace.com/roosterteeth for 10% off your first purchase. In fact, I just got something sent to me earlier today. We had a listener who's starting his online store, and he sent me like a sample of one of his products, talking about how he started his online store using our Squarespace promotion and about how great it was to get his store set up. And now he's actually selling stuff. And I'm not talking about his product because he didn't pay me. Squarespace.
Squarespace, check out his product.
Check out some products, buy some stuff. So another thing we were talking about before we went live was how some of us fly a lot. It's a common, like, recurring theme
Have
on
we
the
ever
podcast.
talked about that on the podcast?
We've talked about it several times.
1% problems, am I right?
And it's just work problems. It's not like I'm traveling the world for fun.
True.
It's like it's just constantly for work. But you know, the Airbus has that big plane, right? The A380. I don't know if you guys know this. Like the big double-decker plane.
Yeah.
The first one came out like 10 years ago, October 2007. It took its first flight. That plane is already retired.
What? Well, why?
Singapore Airlines didn't want it anymore. They've returned it to the company they leased it from.
Were they just not using it enough?
I don't know.
Or issues, perhaps, with
Fuel
the
efficiency?
Maybe there's like a new version of it coming out that's supposed to be more fuel efficient, but after 10 years, it's already like being returned. They're not using it anymore.
That's
any
miserable.
incidences or crashes?
They
perhaps?
haven't had anything major. They've had a couple like engine failures, but nothing.
You ever
too
considered
terrible.
using that? It's almost like Uber for plane flights. It's like that private thing where I don't know how much it is per month, but you go to the airport and you get on your own. You go through your own little security thing, and it takes like 2 seconds. And then they give you a little lounge you can sit in while they check your shit. And then you go on your own private plane, and they take you someplace.
Talk about 1% problem.
Yeah.
I think it's actually cheaper than most people would imagine.
It seems like it. I wouldn't trust that as much as commercial flights, like as far as safety.
I guess you always hear about like, oh well, no, it's just Buddy Holly. But you always hear about private planes just crashing.
And
Right.
Stevie Ray Vaughan, but it was a helicopter. Alpine Valley.
Same difference, dude.
Same difference.
There was a. So you know that I'm going to talk about that plane a little longer. That big plane, the A380. I've never been on one, but they have these big suites. Like if you're in first class, it's actually like a suite. Like it's got a bed and like a little desk in a work area, and it's got like a door you can lock. It's like
Is that the one that Emirates uses for?
Yeah.
A lot of like people in Saudi Arabia that hire the more wealthy people there, I think they have A380s, and they just like make the whole thing just a private, bunch of different cool rooms, and they have a bunch of like birds.
I've seen those before.
Birds?
But yeah, they take like falcons with them.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick. Don't have birds on a plane.
They can already fly.
But if they own the plane, they can do what they want.
Nah, don't have birds on a
The
plane.
birds are very expensive.
But you know what? When you're in the air and you're flying, you don't need birds.
I shouldn't even be calling them birds because they're more than that.
You just don't need birds when you're going somewhere. I'm flying to Chicago. Don't need birds.
They're falcons, right?
I think they're falcons.
The falcon industry in
That's even
in the
funnier
Middle
that
East
they're
is
falcons.
incredible. It's very lucrative.
Why
I
do you
feel
know
like
about the
there's
falcon industry?
Yeah, how do you know?
we did
and
a
why?
story on it when I worked at SourceFed. We did a big story, and I did a bunch of research on falcons and their collection
Falcon punch.
of falcons. It's really interesting, I swear.
How much
They-
is a falcon to buy?
I feel like there's a falcon that could be $1 million.
Wow.
I think there might be.
Here's the thing with that. Don't have a falcon that's $1 million.
Hey, they're very loyal.
Are they? Have you had a falcon?
They're extraordinarily loyal.
What's the depreciation on a falcon?
How much do they
over time?
appreciate?
Well, once they're out of the parking lot, it goes down.
It's like half $1 million
Significantly.
falcon.
The average falcon price can range from $200 to $1,000 or as high as $3,500.
Oh. So
Wait. But if you buy a falcon in Qatar, the price can go as high as $274,600.
Significantly lower than the $1 million Steve
Well, you could buy
Much
4
proposed
falcons.
earlier.
There's a rare one out there. I guarantee you it's worth $1 million.
Guaranteed.
The rarest
What's his
falcon.
name? What's his name? The rarest falcon.
His name's Potty Water.
What is the
Potty water
rarest falcon?
You're really looking it up?
Yeah.
3 million.
I've been looking up a lot of weird shit lately.
Red
Most
footed
dangerous
falcon.
places in the world.
What's the weirdest porn you guys look up recently?
Lowest sea level.
So that actually ties into something else I wanted to talk about.
Yes.
So you're asking for the weirdest porn. So circling back one more time to that A380. So like I said, they have these bedrooms basically, right? Like in first
With
class,
porn on them.
they have signs in them that say that discourage their passengers from having sex.
Oh.
It's like-
Discourage or prohibit?
Just like you cannot have sex. You're not supposed to have sex.
More
in these-
prohibited then, yeah.
If I'm on a plane and there's a bed and a bedroom,
And a lock on my door.
I'm at least jerking it.
Absolutely.
Jerking it.
Right. It's like you cannot stop me from having sex on that bed.
I'm already jerking off in public seats, aisle 63.
There was a couple
Middle
that had
seat,
sex-
2 people beside me I don't know. I'm jerking off definitely naked in a room by myself.
Did you see
on
that
a plane.
video of that couple on a Delta flight like a couple of weeks ago?
They fucked recently, right? And
Yeah.
then no, they didn't get in trouble because they didn't make much noise, I heard.
Because they didn't make much noise.
Really? They got off scot-free.
Literally.
Literally.
Scot free.
But yeah, you see like the people in the aisle in front of them going like,
They've been in there a while.
What was the position? Oh, it was the bathroom. It wasn't just.
I've seen
So they
both.
can
I've
only
seen
do
bathroom,
missionary, yeah.
and I've also seen in their seats.
Why in the suite do
seen
they
the
not want
seat.
them to bang though? Is it just
I don't know.
they don't want people to clean up cum off a plane?
I guess.
Well, that's their problem.
Well, just come inside then.
And hold the fries.
Imagine that being on the side.
But I also saw. So you're asking about like weird porn. I saw the other day last week that Pornhub started selling their own sex toys.
Huh.
I'm cool with that.
On their website, which kind of it makes sense.
It's
Yeah.
neato.
But it's like
Are they used?
Do they
Is
sync
my
up with
first
videos?
concern.
it's
Are
nothing.
they like electronic?
It wasn't anything like super high tech or electronic.
Oh, okay.
It was pretty
So
mundane
sex
stuff.
toys, and they're just like, are they like bobbleheads? Or do you mean like actual like sex toys? They're not just like branded
Like
porn.
Is that a
dildos.
real question, Steve?
Unfortunately.
Oh my god.
Dude,
No, it's
I'm
the
like,
bobblehead wearing a Pornhub shirt.
It's just
What's the
Christy
fun
Mack
thing?
bobblehead. And she's just got her dick out.
she's-
No, it's like dildos.
you ever
stuff like
consider
that.
buying one of those sex toys where you and your partner from miles and miles away across the country, you can link up and do shit with each other?
I
Did
think
you hear
that's
the
cool.
story
I think
about
that's
that
really
today? Or is that why you're bringing that up?
No.
Okay, I read a lot of stuff because of the podcast. So like one of those products, what's it called? It's Love Sense.
Did something terrible happen?
No, something awesome happened.
Someone realized that the app that controls the sex toy activates the microphone on their phone and was recording anytime that they were using this toy that you can control. So it's like, and the companies come out and said that those audio files never get sent to the internet. They're just local on your phone.
But why would you want it?
Right. I guess it has to listen because some of them you can do like voice commands for. So it's like listening for voice commands.
I was
but
imagining like a Howard Stern thing where you're like.
The issue with that
and
too is if it's as bad as Siri is with recognizing what you're saying accurately, that's no good. Pull out. Chopping dick off. All right. That's exactly what I meant. Good God.
Are you worried that your phone is listening and serving ads to you? Isn't that a current worry?
Yeah.
Like
I
how
guess.
some people will be talking about things and then suddenly they'll see an ad for it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I feel like you would know, right? Like there was that video that came out last week about supposedly Facebook's listening all the time. But I feel like you would know if your phone was listening, wouldn't you?
There's a thing that Mozilla Firefox is doing. I don't know exactly if it's like an extension or something, but it tells you what whenever you purchase a product or use an app, it'll tell you what information it gets. I think I might invest in that because I don't feel like giving out a lot of information.
I don't use Firefox.
Fun little tidbit.
Yeah, I'm
You
not a
guys
big
can pick up.
Firefox fan either.
Very cool, guys. I wasn't trying to promote Firefox. It's just a cool,
Is
cool.
that
plugin.
your go-to browser?
No, I never use it.
Do you use Chrome?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found a
Chrome's good.
Chrome extension that will limit Twitter to 140 characters.
So you
For
see
everyone
half
else.
of some people's
So
tweets.
it's like it'll stop you from making a tweet longer than 140, and it
You never see
optionally
other
can
ones.
cut.
Is there an
Thank
extension
God.
that prevents Bitmoji from showing up in my replies?
I'm sure-
Ah.
Let's look. Stop Bitmoji Chrome extension.
And with the 280, is it 280 characters?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
most annoying thing with that is when people will like troll and they'll just like space. Like, ugh, I've seen that so many times. I'm like,
Feed.
it's not funny. Don't do that. It's just annoying.
So when you have that extension, Gus, do you still see people's 280 character tweets and it just cuts it halfway through, or do you never
there's
see
like
them?
there's like a red X.
Have you ever seen a tweet that was originally 280 characters that got cut off halfway and you turned off the extension to go
watch
look at that tweet because you thought it was interesting? Defeating the whole purpose of it?
I don't enable that function. I only enable the function to stop myself from doing more than 140.
Oh.
Because you're not responsible enough, perhaps?
Do you have a lot of vices?
What does that mean?
Do you have like a lot of just things you have to control in your life?
Just Bitmoji. That's the only
Anger,
one.
Bitmoji, the 280 characters. We're up to 3 now, Gus.
We're learning a lot.
About you.
Why not just wait until the circle's half filled?
Because the circle's not precise. What the fuck is the circle? Why did they get rid of the number? I
believe it's
hate the
precise.
circle.
I believe
but
it's precise.
Half a circle, you can see when
140.
it's half.
Yeah.
Why did they do that?
So that you could see. For
Why not the number?
Visual learners. The number would be much more like practical.
Better?
I got
but
lost on the circle. What circle?
There's a circle now that fills up with blue as you're getting to the max character limit, which is completely useless but aesthetically pleasing. But a number count would be much more practical. And
Oh, it
at the
actually
end of-
doesn't have the number count.
No,
Right.
it's a circle that just fills up with a color, like a lighter blue.
I like it. I like what they are doing.
Well, you're a bit of a cuck, aren't you?
Very cool.
You like what they're doing? Verifying Nazis?
Yes, Gus,
You
I
heard it
do
here.
like
Steven
that.
Suptic likes what Twitter's doing.
Steven wasn't joking. He meant every word of what he just said.
I think that if you're going to verify
Anyone.
somebody, just verify anybody. Or me.
Okay, well, we'll do that. We'll work on that. If anyone from Twitter's watching, get on that.
Get on that and me.
There's no point.
There's
There's no point.
There's nobody from Twitter watching. Twitter will be dead soon anyway.
You think so? What's going to take its place?
I don't know. I feel like Instagram is just like a juggernaut these days.
Imagine if Instagram created like a website that was much more like Twitter. They probably would because they have the largest social media followings are on Instagram, are they not, compared to Twitter?
Bigger than
I
Snapchat?
think so. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
they
bigger
already
than
copied
Snapchat.
Snapchat, right?
Yeah, true.
So I mean, it wouldn't take much. Then
And it's better. It's so much better. You get more views on Instagram, I think.
do you
than
use
just-
Instagram a lot?
Yeah, I do.
What do you post on? Like, what kind of photos do you post?
I post, photos of selfies of myself. I post pictures of the boys, pictures of the girl.
Photos of selfies.
Photos of selfies only, yes, mostly and only. And I'll use the live function is really great too. The live function is really great too. The live function is really great too. It's just good. It's an all around, like the stories are really easy to use and easy to watch and easy to skip through or go back
So you like it more than Snapchat?
easily. I
Do you
barely
use
use
Snapchat?
It's inconvenient, I find. It's slower loading. It's like you feel like you're using an older software as well that just doesn't look as
Snapchat is slow as fuck.
right. It is.
I don't get that.
Loading someone's little 10-second video is like, all right.
That's
You're
then I
waiting for
watch
it
it
to
like
load.
that wasn't worth it.
No, not at all.
I like Instagram stories, but I don't like how all their ads are compressionless and lossless and look supreme. But then the people's videos look like compressed crap. Like they
But it also
actually,
does depend on the phone you're using. Because if you're using an old phone, bad quality, bad compression, bad codec.
It all comes back.
It's not.
It's
not high
all
efficiency
coming
codec.
circle.
Their ads look damn good on there though. Have you noticed that?
I really don't use Instagram.
Oh.
I can't believe it. You should.
We learned a lot about
need
codecs
to.
doing that short film we did. We didn't realize what is it a DCP?
For like, for
God,
delivery.
that is a bitch.
Yeah.
It took us like 4 hours to get that made, and then we were on our way to the premiere, and they told us that it wasn't going to be done.
What
For
did
the
you shoot it
premiere.
on?
A DCP is
C200.
like the package that you take to the theater and they
Yeah.
ingest that into the projector, and that's what they show.
Yeah.
So like when you go to the theater and you watch a digital movie, and if it's not like analog, if it's not a film, it's a DCP.
And to make
package.
that DCP, we had to render in some, I think it's H.264 HQ or 4444, I don't exactly remember. But even that, I had to go online and buy like this $1,000 program because I was on a PC, I wasn't on Mac, and Autumn's Mac was it's a piece of shit. So it's like I had to render it in time for this. And then I had to spend $1,000 on that because for some reason the theater only accepts H.264 DCPs. Or the DCP place only accepts H.264. It's like, why is there any difference for anything? Like, why can't
So
it
you
all just be
didn't
one?
Have the file until that day?
Correct.
you all almost delayed your screening, right? Like
Dude,
you decided
yeah.
to start late.
We had to just play it off of HDMI from Autumn's laptop.
Really?
Yeah.
So we paid all that money for the DCP and that program to not even use the DCP.
We have the DCP now, though.
And while people were lined up down the street on both sides to go in humble brag into the theater for the premiere, we realized we don't have it at all.
So we thought we could maybe do like a live show, an interpretation of the movie
Oh God.
on stage, and that would have been the
That
most
would've been pretty
embarrassing
good,
thing. But,
But
good.
luckily, we
I
had
like-
Autumn's laptop.
I liked your short film.
really, oh, thank you.
Guys.
That's good.
Where can people see it?
On Rooster
don't know.
Teeth first, that's for sure, or the Sugar Pine 7 YouTube channel
Yep, I see it right here.
If you sign up for Rooster Teeth first, make sure that you keep subscribed after that first month.
for at least 2.
I thought it was. I didn't think you all. Oh God, I don't want to spoil anything in it. No, I won't say it then.
Spoil it. Do
Say it.
I didn't think you all would show the monster so clearly
In daylight.
In daylight, I was like, wow.
It was
We
a risk.
purposely defied that, yeah.
We really
because-
liked how the makeup team, what the work they did.
Yeah, it
on
looked
it. So
good.
we just thought it was interesting. Plus, we're big slasher fans, and the movie's like a slasher film, but with a monster instead of a killer.
Mm-hmm.
So we just we figured they show the killer, so why not show, the monster? And no one ever shows like a monster during the daylight.
Didn't you shoot in like just a few days or something?
3 days, yeah. There, it was definitely illegal hours.
Yeah, like we worked 3 days straight. Like, can I even say how long we worked, or should I just not?
I mean, you know what? I paid people overtime because I had to open up another credit card.
True.
So
But far too many hours than we should have, with not nearly as many breaks as we should have. And I mean, everyone was on board. The beauty of it was that we had a team that was all as fired up and like willing to put in the hours as we were. So everyone considered it a passion project, and it like worked out.
Yeah.
I guess.
That's. I like those shoots though. I've done a few shoots where it's like just a bunch of people who all want the same thing. They want it to be great.
Yeah.
And instead of having to go by all these rules, it's like, hey, you want to just take like a 5-minute lunch instead of an hour? It's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's
Exactly.
crack back on.
Yeah.
I like
Otherwise,
those.
it wouldn't have been able to be done. in
Yeah.
3
no,
days.
absolutely not.
Not at all.
And we still had to cut so many corners. There were like a lot of things in the plot that just didn't really like add up.
scenes we literally had to cut like day of going, we can't shoot that. What's more important? What can we do to work around it? So it was really like not guerrilla shooting, but at the same time there were
And then there were also
aspects of
scenes
guerrilla
that we needed to cut out in post, but we realized we had a time frame that we had to meet, like a time limit on the video itself, so where it would be worth people seeing it, which we had to hit like 22 or something minutes. I think what was wanted was like around 30, 25 to 30.
It was
but,
already short enough.
yeah. So it's just
When's the next one?
Tomorrow.
we
You're
want
doing it
to
film it
3 hours,
tonight.
right?
we
Both
want
of
to
you.
wait a couple months, probably 2 or 3 months before we start doing
Even
something like that
working
again,
on it,
because
yeah.
that is just it's a nightmare. It's truly
It
a nightmare.
consumes most of our creative energy, which we need to allocate entirely to everyday shooting, I think.
Yeah.
Now,
Have you
did
ever-
y'all like take downtime from your normal shooting for that kind of stuff? Like did
Just the
did
days
it
that
really
we were
affect
gone.
or drain you?
Just the days we
Just
were
the
gone.
days we were gone,
Prep, like pre-production. No, we didn't take any days off for vlogs or anything. But have you ever noticed when you work on like a passion project, you go back to the normal day-to-day work and you're not as fulfilled by it? Like you work on something you really want to for so long. Because I was editing the Woods for quite a while, and then I suddenly went back to editing vlogs, and it's just I couldn't do it. It was just unfulfilling, and it felt like I was creatively drained.
I had like a weird inverse of that the other day where we had this big like offsite meeting that we have once a year where we go over a lot of stuff, and at the end of the day, I was like, you know, there's really some stuff I'm curious about. So I spent like 3 days building spreadsheets and charts. It was like, and I was like totally into it. I was like, I'm all about this spreadsheet. Like, I don't want to do anything on camera. I don't want to do anything creative. Like, fuck yeah, this spreadsheet. I'm going to spend 8 hours all day today, just like nonstop. And it was like, and then when I'm done, I'm like, yeah, that's really good. Like, look at all this. I figured all this shit out. I figured all this data
And then
out.
you had an
Like,
existential
Yeah,
crisis.
really.
You're just like, no more spreadsheets. I don't know what to do anymore. Maybe do a bar graph.
but I feel like it's somewhat similar, where you like get really into something. Like your headspace is just like, it strikes you just right, and it's like that's all you want to do. And then like when I was done, I was like, well, I got to go edit that video, and I'm really not into that right now. Like,
Yeah.
Well, for the first while, like the SB7 videos we were making were that. And I think we just got used to doing it. So now it's not as fresh as it was. So when we got to do something that was so fresh and like bigger scale, going back to it was just like,
And then I realized I could just make the videos we were doing recently more cinematic, and that would kind of quench my thirst.
and is it?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
It's fun trying to work out this story.
so
Little
with
things.
Dane Bird on Twitter at Sad Panda Bird is asking, what was the amount of film not used in the final cut of The Woods? Myself and a lot of others wished it had been twice as long.
God, we would need twice the amount of
Shots
time.
that
if not
weren't
more.
used. Dude, we almost used everything we shot. We used a C200 for the majority of it, and then a small skeleton crew went out and shot other things with the 5D Mark IV. There's no comparison between the 5D Mark IV and the C200 though.
We
And
almost
it's just-
didn't use like the shot of the roadkill.
We spent like $500 on this roadkill, put it out in the middle of the road, shot it with a 5D Mark IV, and it looked like shit. We still put it in the film because we were like, we're not wasting $500 on that.
What was shit about it? like-
It's
the quality compared to the other camera was just
it doesn't
so
have
noticeably different.
like the C200. I feel like it shoots. It has sort of an HDR effect where the sky's not as overexposed when you're shooting on the ground, and it's just a lot more clear in general.
It's like a dynamic range thing.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
the 5D it was so blown out in the background that
Yeah.
I had
Just a
to.
better sense for overall.
So
everything
what I did
about
is
it.
I just cut after it showed all the stuff in the background towards the road. And
I think
So-
that's what people always overlook is that like they just look at stats like the resolution, like, oh, it's 4K and this one's 4K.
God,
it's
no,
like
yeah.
dynamic range it is what makes shit look way more professional and not shot on a phone.
And the picture
Yeah.
profile, like the these cameras right here have an amazingly flat picture profile if you use it, obviously. But like they're incredible. I love the what are
The
they called?
Blackmagic ones?
Blackmagic, yeah.
Yeah.
So flat. Like they immediately like raw look much more cinematic than like even a 5D.
I'm trying to get Rooster Teeth to give us a budget to shoot on RE65.
Ooh, baby, those are so good. Holy shit, they're amazing. Like
I feel like it would cost $5,000 to rent that in a day, so I think RT can probably afford that, right?
We'll give you a couple hours.
We got some phantoms.
That'd be cool. Are they in this like area?
In this building?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, they're in Britain, Great
No,
Britain.
no. I hide them.
England, are
They're
they
in a
in
different
England?
place every week. No, I'm just kidding.
Great Britain.
Nicolas Cage has them right now.
Damn it.
He's on a heist.
We
Do you
give them
rent those
to-
out?
No.
We don't even use them.
To us, yeah, we use them all around here all the time.
Are those cameras? Do you still have the same one that you had from a while ago?
Yeah, we got one that's 7 years old and one that's 3 years old.
The one that's 7 years old, does that still hold up?
It's breaking a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It runs good for like 2 hours and then it
And then the
overheats.
over here.
one that's 3 years old, is that an updated version of that other one?
It's the 4K version of the other one.
Oh, so it's just as expensive.
What cameras are used on $1 Million Butt?
That'd
That's
be
great.
the
Probably the black
Scarlet, isn't it?
red. Yeah, I
Oh.
think
Yeah,
red
not Scarlet.
Scarlet.
Epic.
Scarlet. Oh yeah.
Oh, you
I
use
went-
Epics?
I'm not sure what sensor they use. What's the? Is it?
Yeah,
the,
is it a dragon?
they went from Dragon
Yeah.
to the something else.
I don't know.
They're so modular. I never really know what the.
How do we get a couple dragons from you guys and just?
How do we give those to us?
When I went to CES a few years ago,
Your question.
when that Phantom 4K came out,
Yeah.
I stopped by the booth where they were showing them off, and like I was there like trying to get information because we knew we wanted to get one, and like nobody there would give me the time of day. They were like, "Who are you? Like, what are you doing?" Like, "Yeah, we want to buy a Phantom for like make some internet videos." And they were like, "What?" And then like literally like salespeople just like turn and like walk away. Like, "No, I'm serious. I'm not wasting your time. Give me the information."
funny.
How much are those cameras? It's like $100,000, right?
They can get pricey.
Yeah, I think
Wow.
the one we got, the 4K at the time was like 150, and then it's like 20 for the mags each, and then like 10 for the
You
reader.
could get a Jaguar F-Type for that and then
You
crash
get,
it.
You get a Falcon.
What's a Falcon? Oh,
bird.
the bird.
Yeah.
You can get a pretty rare falcon for $100,000. Let me tell you.
The self-proclaimed falcon expert.
You get a quarter of a
His
falcon.
name Potty Water Junior.
Yeah, they don't mess around. Everything about those cameras is expensive because there's one cable that comes with it. It's Ethernet on one end, normal Ethernet, and then there's like a Fisher connector that just plugs into a Phantom. But because it's a custom cable, that's like, yeah, it's $500.
If you could use any camera on a film that
Jesus.
any camera that exists, what would you use?
A mirror.
What's that?
What's that? It's the successor to the Alexa. Isn't that right?
Oh, the Ari?
Mhm.
Oh,
Wow.
I thought that was the 65.
Is it the 65? Well, the Alexa was just 2K, but it was really nice looking.
Sorry that I'm talking about cameras with you guys.
I'm looking it up.
Honestly, I used to work in the film industry, and it was like just when Reds were coming in. But then I haven't done that in like 6 years, so I'm sort of out of date now.
You'd be
Yeah,
better off talking with like the guys who actually film shit.
I'm
still.
I'm up to date on Phantoms still, but
Yeah,
all the
Amira,
real time
you're right.
stuff. Is it?
Mhm.
Sweet.
I had to look it up.
What is it?
Amira,
Amira?
Amira.
And that's their best camera?
Mira.
Looks like it. That in my 2 seconds of Google searching, it looks like it. Of course, I'm sure the comments will prove me wrong.
But the Alexa, like, they're not cameras that people would just buy for online. I think like the base package on the Arri Alexa was like 65 grand or something
It's like
for a body.
you would probably see a movie in the theaters that was shot with a camera like that.
Yeah, they shoot Game of Thrones on it.
Same with the Alexa, right? Or is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the Alexa was
yeah.
like
There was-
all of Game of Thrones. I'm not even sure about the last season, but like definitely season 1 to 5. You can't watch it in 4K because they didn't shoot it in 4K. They just wanted the dynamic range of the Alexa.
I think one of the Guardians of the Galaxy was shot on the Alexa as well.
I think Avengers was as well.
Mm-hmm.
Nerds.
So did you hear? I was talking about NAB, and that made me think about Las Vegas. Did you hear that? Was it AAA launched an autonomous shuttle to drive people up and down the Las Vegas Strip?
No.
What?
And then on the first day, it immediately got into a crash.
Wow.
So wait, it was on the roads.
Yeah,
Oh,
and it was supposed to be like to show off autonomous vehicles, and immediately it got into a wreck.
How did it get in the accident? Was it someone else's fault?
It was in traffic, and it was behind another vehicle, and then to the side of it, a big like 18-wheeler with a trailer was backing up, and the car could sense that there was another vehicle coming. Because it was in traffic, it didn't know what to do, so it tried going forward, and then it couldn't get out of the way, and then the trailer just backed up right into it.
Okay, so it wasn't its fault, though.
Right, but it could have.
It just couldn't have troubleshooted the.
Right, it didn't honk its horn. It didn't do anything to alert.
Oh.
Right, it's like it froze. Like it should be able to honk its horn, but it didn't think to do it in that situation.
Oh, no.
gotta teach them aggression.
Right. So it's like immediately
Teach it to yell at its steering wheel,
wreck.
perhaps.
Right, just scream at the steering
How
wheel.
far are we from, like, fully autonomous cars where we don't have to drive anymore? Are we, like, 10 years from that?
Do you not like
closer
driving?
than that.
Not anymore. Also, how far are we from developing a code of ethics for touching robots in weird places?
Oh, we talk about this every now and then.
Really?
Because I'm
Yeah.
down to.
Because there has to be, like, I mean, maybe there doesn't have to be. I don't know what people are going to decide in the future, but when AI gets so intelligent that you just feel like it's a real person, who's to stop someone from molesting a robot, you know?
Right. To hard
And is
Weinstein
that
it.
molestation because it's just a device?
These are the things we think about at SP7.
Right,
Do you
but then, like,
humanize the robot or
when
not?
does the device become like if it's intelligent enough? Like, does it have
do you decide
rights of its
consciousness?
own?
Artificial intelligence, though, so it's like, you know what I mean? I understand where you're coming from, but I'm
Is it
asking the
truly
question.
conscious?
Right.
Exactly.
I don't know, but it's like,
I mean, we
how
teach our
can I word
babies-
this without getting too crass? Like, okay, this is gonna be really crass. Like, so what about like a dog
Right.
or an animal, like a pet? You wouldn't do that.
Can't
to,
fuck a dog, no.
To that, like, but it's like
Unless
you
you
wouldn't
wanted
say
to.
that a dog has a soul or a consciousness, right? It's
Well,
not on
you
the same
can't-
level as a
You
human.
can't make a dog.
You can't make. A
I
dog.
think
Could you make
Incorrect.
a dog?
You can make a dog.
Bullshit.
I've looked into
Without a dog?
cloning my dogs when they die, and it
You
would
can
be,
you
make a
actually-
dog
it would be
from-
50 grand.
You're making
Wow.
a dog from a dog. You can't just
Oh,
come
you-
up with a dog.
and that's likely not even
You're
real.
right.
So I feel like if you can make it, then all bets are off.
So then you don't care about clones.
But
And
you
it's
have to
also
clone
about-
from something that existed already. You can't just like a clone is already a secondary
Okay,
thing.
okay, I see.
But
I
you're saying
can't
that if a
invent-
robot had a whole birth cycle where it went from a baby to an adult, then you would have a problem with it because it still, I don't think, would have consciousness.
If
but
I
a dog
made
does.
a robot
Yeah, I agree.
and a robot just came up with an offspring, yeah, I would feel bad about doing anything to that
Really?
because I didn't make I'm also. I don't want to molest a robot.
Gavin,
No,
if that robot child, like if that robot in the first place was able to have a child, that means it was programmed to be able to have a child. So that's still something that, you know what I mean? It wasn't like natural.
Yeah, it would have to come up with the child itself for me to have an issue with it. If I gave it like
for it to
a
have
birth
child,
cycle,
it would have to be programmed to have a child. So therefore, it's just an extension of the original created.
Will they have
robot.
children AI in the future?
Well, you would think AI would iterate on itself and improve itself, right? Like if it doesn't have a physical form, if it's something that exists as software only.
surely it would be doing that every second.
Right. It would constantly iterate, improve, and replicate. So I don't think it's like a child necessarily as it is independent copies that continue to improve and iterate on itself.
Oh, no, I just meant a specifically child-designed AI for perverts.
Why do you ask, Steve?
Oh,
Why do you ask?
Where they have like...
Well, I mean, actually, that already exists, right? Like they use... Haven't you seen that? They use this software they call Sweetie.
Does it do like a voice that's like, no, stop?
Well,
to, like, draw 'em in,
to
bait
catch
'em?
child
Where's
predators.
my dad?
So you're saying
it's like this 3D
Oh,
rendered
it's like an online thing.
little girl who like they say that people like currently people it's a very manual process where people will run it in order to try to trap child predators, but they're working on iterating it to where it can go out on its own
And catch predators.
Right. That way, because it's like they're constrained by the number of operators who can run it at one time. And, like,
Annie, the little child predator catcher.
Right.
I like
But
it.
what if it
That'd be
gets
an
too
interesting
aggressive
movie.
and it starts like raking in people who aren't interested?
And what if
Like,
it starts to
forcing
become a bit of
itself?
a pedophile itself?
So you're saying there should be child robots to wean people off?
Kevin, no, that is not what I'm saying at all.
No,
I'm
that's
just saying,
originally what I thought as well.
I don't know where the market's going to go. Who knows?
It is an
20,
interesting
50 years, people are...
conversation because people are offended by stuff today that wouldn't have been offensive in the 80s or 70s maybe as much. But it's like, will touching a robot eventually say so much about you as a person that we start to see it that way? It's like, oh, you might as well be touching a...
I think
To some degree, to
be
some
honest,
degree,
I
for
think
sure.
even
yeah.
if in some weird reality they had children robots that were used to alleviate like the pedophiles, then
still-
it's still that's not the reason pedophiles are pedophiles. It's because of it's a power thing, right? When it comes down to it.
For a
Are you
lot
asking
of
me?
it, probably. But I mean,
I'm
I'm
only
sure-
sorry, I was only
You're
staring
looking like
Gus
right at
with
me.
that.
Like I don't know.
So I feel like the
Why
robots
do
would
you
do
do it,
it.
Gus?
talking about.
there's so much stuff that I can't relate to in any way. I can't even try and get in the mind of a kiddie fiddler because I can't relate to any of it.
I just think
It's
that
just
like
not sexy at all. I don't understand what.
I think that like to some degree yes, but there's also like I'm sure a majority of them that are just genuinely sexually attracted to kids, and then there's also a power thing. I think there's like probably a mixture of both, and that having those to wean them off would kind of also make it a little bit more okay than it already is. I don't think that's a good idea. at all.
I don't think that should happen.
You're
I think that I think
prolonging
that
the behavior.
Oh, I
Yeah,
don't think
that
it will
encourages
happen. I just don't think
behavior.
even if it did, it would help.
There are some
No, I don't
things
think
that
it would.
should be cold turkey.
right like that should not be on the table. at all.
Cigarettes, wean yourself off. Kids, stop.
Will your sponsors be okay with
You know?
this?
I'm waiting. I got to do another ad read, and I'm waiting to get somewhere else so we can segue
Can
off
I
of this.
quickly pee? Is that a thing?
Yeah, you
That
go
would
for
actually
it.
help him
Why
get
did you
to a
pee
safe-
before this?
Oh, the 2 beers have gone right through me, and I'm about to urinate in your pants.
You got 2 more to get through as well.
All right.
Go for it.
Where's
Here,
James? Maybe
here,
James can take his place in the meantime.
Here. Got to get back.
James! James!
He'll show up out there.
James is
So
gone.
Someone will take you. While Kib's doing that, let me read this thing here. Want to remind everyone, this episode of the Receipt Podcast is also brought to you by Upside. If you travel for work, listen up. That business trip you're about to book, do it over at upside.com, and I'll give you 2 of the best gifts anyone will give you this holiday season. The first is a free pair of Bose SoundLink wireless headphones so you can have some peace and quiet on your business trip. And second, I'm going to give you the gift of a better business travel experience, and that's what you get when you book your next business trip over at upside.com, and here's why. Only Upside has customer service specialists who look out for you every step of the way on your business trip, handling any problems that might pop up. Okay, now here's how to get your free pair of Bose SoundLink wireless headphones. Book your first business trip at upside.com and use code Rooster, and the Bose SoundLink wireless headphones are yours free. That's code Rooster at upside.com to claim this gift. Bose SoundLink wireless headphones, just for trying Upside, is just one more way Upside is looking out for you and helping reduce the stress of business travel. It's upside.com. You deserve a better business trip. Minimum purchase is required, so see site for complete details. And you know how much we talk about traveling and business travel. Go check out upside.com. Seems like a great service.
Did you go to Extra Life?
I didn't. I missed it this year.
Were you
I
out
was
of town?
feeling I was feeling a little
Was it
bad
cold? Was
on
it too
Saturday.
cold outside?
I was feeling a little bad. I'm going to explain. Are you going to keep fucking cutting me
Why
off,
don't
or do you want me
explain
to
it with a
explain
Bitmoji?
I was feeling a little bad on Saturday, and then I still have like this residual guilt over the
Oh,
Cheese
for
Master
Cheese
stuff.
Master?
Right. I got really drunk 2 years ago, and like I derailed the whole
You
thing.
came last year, right?
I was traveling. I was on a plane last
so you're
year.
just never gonna go.
No, I'll
again.
come back, but it's like I want to get away from that maybe a little more, and then I can make a return.
I had a bloody good time on it.
See, I watched it.
It
Seemed
was
like
it's just so it's like everyone just goes ape shit. Everyone just loses all their inhibitions soberly. For
Congrats
extra
on
life.
raising all that money, by the way.
yeah, thanks.
How much of that gets written off?
It's not a write-off. We never take it.
It's like everyone who donates writes it off, I guess.
Yeah, they write it off. So all of it.
Oh, very good.
But yeah, it was. It seemed like a big goal. I wasn't sure if we'd be able to hit it, but everyone pulled.
It was great energy in the room. There was like at every point I was there were like 50 people in here, and the set was so much bigger this year. It was top.
I saw a picture of someone puking into someone's mouth.
Oh, that'll happen. That
Is that
happens
what that
every
was?
year, yeah.
No, they were baby birdie.
Baby birdie.
The funniest thing I think I've ever seen in my entire life from Rooster Teeth, and there have been a bunch of things, was Blaine getting too drunk during what was that? Where he got way too drunk and then
Like
just
an interview
threw up?
with his drunk self.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
The me versus drunk me.
Oh wow,
God, that was so funny.
I'd like to see that.
He just they
Roll
do
the
that
clip.
Did you, have you seen it?
No, I'd love to see that.
It's
though.
of Blaine.
They do this show where they get drunk and then they talk to themselves afterwards. So they'll like ask questions and then they'll get drunk and then they'll answer the questions when they're drunk. And Blaine got too drunk and he just immediately tries to answer questions, just throws up everywhere.
Oh, that's amazing. Did you know that was gonna happen?
No, he just got too.
He got too drunk.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's so good. I feel like you'd have to get so drunk to make that entertaining, so that you're not just like, I remember.
It was a
asking
very
myself
short
that
video.
question.
Are you a good drunk? I imagine you to be a terrible one.
Actually, I am
fucking
always
pervert.
twice as drunk as you think I am. I'm a like completely normal drunk. I think, like you wouldn't even know that I'm drunk when I'm destroyed. Anyways, that's
That's what
a
you
non-fun
think, right?
question. Non-fun answer to that question.
You need like a camera. That way you can see yourself. You ever watch footage of yourself when you're drunk?
I don't know if there is any footage of me actually
See?
drunk.
You got to watch
Really?
it.
Truly, but I mean, I've been told so many times that people are like, "I didn't even know you were drunk." I'm like, "I'm fucking destroyed." Yeah.
Are you coming to the holiday party this year?
When is it and where? Oh no, we're not because
let's
we,
not say when and where.
what's the address and what
If
time?
you're asking me for that information, I have no idea.
I'd probably know because I think I heard that we have to pay for our own flights, so that's not happening.
You mean we're not flying you out to party?
Yeah, dude,
How
let's
dare
do it in
we?
LA then. Come to LA.
I did one year. I went to the full screen one.
Let's have our own party. We'll have one in the same night, and we'll see who shows
Let's
up.
meet halfway
Okay.
between LA.
What is
and-
exactly halfway between LA and
Missouri.
No.
That's not a real place.
I just watched Misery,
You got some laughs.
so
Jesus.
It's got to be somewhere in Arizona, right?
it was a good movie.
Los Angeles.
Are you looking up the distance or the halfway mark between LA and Austin?
Yeah.
I
What?
bet it's Missouri.
It's not Missouri.
It's either Missouri or it's Los Angeles, Austin. It's not Missouri.
No, it's not at all. It's not even in the right direction.
It's okay. So there's Arizona, Nevada.
Oh, it's Texas.
It's Maine.
Maine. It's Mange.
Wait, what would it be? Oh, this is gonna bum me out. It's
Kansas City.
it's Arizona.
It's in Arizona somewhere, I'm sure. It's like at the Arizona-New Mexico border.
So what's good there?
What's good?
What's good? Let's see. We go to
Just pay for your own flights. Just come to the party.
Lordsburg, New
Kevin,
Mexico.
I have
or
opened up a
San
new
Take
Simon,
the
credit
budget.
card.
Arizona.
Take the budget.
What budget?
For your next camera that you're not going to get and go to the party instead.
All right, that we could do.
I have $300 in my bank account.
Do we not? No. There's some questions I want to ask you, but not on a thing.
Just ask me anything. You can ask me anything right now.
Do it.
AMA.
How much
Why-
money do you not have?
Why do we have...
Why do what?
Well, is it like...
Let's figure it
You
out.
just open a load of credit cards to make a thing?
No, I had to open a credit card with a big limit so I could pay people overtime for the woods.
Okay.
And then I already had just an incredible amount of debt before then. Anyway,
You got a great car, though.
had
So what was the car? I couldn't really tell from what was left of it, but it,
was
looked like a Jag.
It was
Or a
a
Honda
good
Civic.
version of the F-Type. So
So you like cars?
yeah, actually, very. Oh, you?
No, I don't drive.
Do you have a license?
No.
Interesting.
Really?
The only other person I know from the UK doesn't drive. Also, Gizzy doesn't drive.
So you're not a big a car guy
Well,
at all.
I mean, depending on where you live in the UK, you don't have to drive. There's public transport everywhere.
There's public transport everywhere in America.
LA
too.
definitely
like-
not. You
Yeah.
never want to take the public transport in LA.
Yeah.
But there's
wrong with
Uber. That's public transport
The
here.
people. Just the people are wrong with it.
I would drive. I want to make sure I don't want to drive on this visa that I'm on.
Why's that?
Because I might accidentally break the law and then get deported.
You think
Oh.
if you got into an accident, you get deported? I wouldn't.
Hey,
think
if I
so.
like lost concentration and ran someone over, I'd
Just
ruin
don't
my
do that.
life.
Yeah, because you do one wrong thing when you have a visa like that, and you have to go
yeah,
home,
you
right?
don't have a lot of rights on them, and I want
Wow.
to just prevent risk at all costs. So I'll be a passenger as long as I wear a seatbelt and don't, open container. Then I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
I think you'll be fine. Honestly, I think it's more of a
I'm sure I would.
a
yeah, just-
worry that wouldn't even none of those issues would arise.
It's just
Yeah.
most,
I mean, I never thought I would crash my car.
Well,
Now look at me, full on.
true.
what was it like in the moment? Just the worst ever.
So
I feel like you've talked about this on a podcast I haven't watched.
Just ours, yeah.
I flipped a few times, and then I was upside down, and then I remember putting my hands down.
8 times to be exact, wasn't it? 8 times flipped.
No, definitely not 8 times. It was like
6.
it was a decent amount of times I flipped though. And so I ended up upside down and I put my hands down on the glass, and that's the only reason that I got like kind of worried is because I looked at my hands and they were all bloody and I was like, fuck, something's gone wrong. But I felt fine in the moment, so I unhooked my my seatbelt and I was like, oh shit.
And he was
'cause I
upside
landed
down, by the way.
Tried to push out the door to my left, completely blocked in. I was like, this is fucking the worst thing ever. Started getting claustrophobic. Then I moved the door to my right. Or wait, would it be? I moved the other door that I didn't move at first, and
Yeah.
it was also blocked in. I was like, this is just getting worse and worse. This is how I'm going to die. How fitting. And then I kicked the door open, and I got out. So it felt a lot. Have you guys seen Unbreakable?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I just can't imagine the moment where, because I assume if you're living like a slow motion moment where it's like, well, I've lost control here, let me try and correct it, and then to the point where it's like, I can't, I'm gonna let go and I'm gonna put my hands up. It's like that must be a scary moment.
it didn't feel slow motion at all.
It
The
was very
whole
quick.
thing.
It was really quick, yeah.
I just it was like
Bugger me.
whip,
I keep-
whip, whip,
I've
and
seen
then
that before, but that is just a shocking mess of metal.
yeah, it held up. I realized
Where did the front wheel go?
It's still going.
it's in my driveway.
Perpetual motion.
The front
forever.
wheel's disconnected. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I can sell some of this.
I sat in it for a video and it was just like remarkable how, like, believe it or not, his little section was relatively, unscaven. Like he had a good little area here, not too much wreckage, like pieces of metal sticking out in his eye or anything. I was like, God, car luckily had a roll cage. If it didn't, he would have been.
How old is
Oh,
the
it had
car?
rollover
good.
protection.
Like what
protection.
Year, what year is that car?
It had a
17.
roll cage, roller
Oh,
protection.
cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
I mean,
when
cool
they.
in some ways and very
Yeah.
uncool in other ways.
No,
but
I'm glad it did a great job there. I feel like I
crack-
should tweet at them.
to crash the current year is always preferable, I guess.
Yeah, truly. Because I mean, imagine if that was like a 2004 or something.
You should have taken a picture of you just right beside the car, like, and then took a
did.
picture at them.
And then
Oh,
put like
to
their
them?
logo.
Exactly.
like it's an ad.
Pretty
That'd be
good.
amazing.
Can vouch.
Maybe then I wouldn't go bankrupt. Who knows?
I
Glad
think
you lived.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too in some ways.
I think about that, right? Like, do you think that the people who are like on the factory line making cars, they ever wonder like that guy's putting like the final finishing touches on a car? Like, I wonder what's going to happen to this car.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the ultimate fate of this brand new vehicle?
I think about that with food a lot, where I had
Someone can eat this?
like some of the worst unhealthiest food in the UK. I would consider a pot noodle just terrible.
Pot noodle?
Yeah, it's like
So like
instant
ramen in a
noodles,
way?
but
Doesn't
it's
even
like
sound
it's
good.
got like powder and shit, and you pour it in. It's like the
Ramen
corn.
in America, Mr. Noodle in Canada.
Yeah. So, but like, there's always like some veg to make it, I guess, less.
Not even actual veg,
Little
just
peas and
little
carrots.
like little green pieces of just
Yeah, green
flavor.
pieces,
Yeah,
green
yeah, yeah.
pieces, and there's corn. And I'm always like opening up the thing. There's a pot noodle. Yeah, it's a great chicken noodle. They're terrible for you, but they're delicious.
They're
Love 'em.
so good. I love them too.
But I'm always like,
wait, does one of the things? Can we pull that back up? Does one of the things say no pots? Like at the very bottom,
does.
It's like a pot with an X
Do
to
not
it.
boil.
Pot noodle.
yeah, it means you
do
have
not
to-
put in pot.
you don't have to decant it. You just pour water in it.
No.
But there's always corn in it, and I just look at it. I think, when was this corn? Like, when was this on the cob? What
Years
year
ago.
was that? Was it this decade?
Because you
How
know
long can
it's,
keep
it's like
corn?
dry and it's almost fossilized.
Guess we got to look up how long we can keep corn.
Yeah, and it's the same with like tinned chicken. Like, you can actually buy a whole chicken in a can.
That's disgusting.
Oh,
Yeah, and like, dump it out. And it's
An
blue,
entire
but it's
chicken
like,
that's just been deboned.
is
But I
there
look
not
at it and
canned bread?
I think, like, when was that a chicken walking around? What year
Dehydrated
was that?
vegetables store well if hermetically sealed in the absence of oxygen. Plan on a storage life of 8 to 10 years.
Like, when was that pea growing?
Oh, it looks so wrinkled and just the life has been
Why
sucked
doesn't
out
that
of it
stop
entirely.
us from eating it though?
I just can't stop. I import pot noodles.
They're
from
so
the UK.
good. Well, we have like we
You don't
have versions of
just
it
eat
here.
ramen?
You don't need to do
I
that.
have ramen too, but There's a special flavor to a chicken and mushroom pot noodle.
Oh, really? Chicken and mushroom.
Yeah,
That sounds delightful.
I'll give you one.
Do you have one here?
Not on me, no.
But in the
my
building.
house
Where's your house? Could you tell me the address and your social security number?
down the road.
All
Why
right.
don't you bring some for us?
Yeah, I didn't think to bring a load of pot noodles.
Maybe we
Bloody
need to make a little
expensive to
run.
import them too.
Is it?
I'm terrible for you.
What else do you import? You have like tea.
Chocolate, English chocolate, tea. Well, Yorkshire Tea sent me all the tea I'll ever need in the world, so I don't
Wow.
really need to.
Doesn't
do
that go bad after a while though?
Not at the rate I drink it.
Okay, fair play.
Come
play
on,
it,
Gus.
I've been
You
trying to
know
learn
him.
how to put milk in my tea. Like
Oh,
Brit.
it's so good. Well,
Just
I
in
put
gray
cream
tea,
in it
right?
sometimes even.
Or black tea? Is that what you put it in?
Yep,
Yeah,
black,
black tea.
orange pico with just milk or cream.
It's really good. It seemed really disgusting to me, but
What's disgusting about it?
I just
You
think
put it in
like
coffee?
dairy and hot water.
It's basically
What's
like
coffee?
Yeah, coffee. That's exactly
yeah,
coffee.
but it's got beans and stuff.
Did you just forget you
Think
put?
about it
It's
like
not just
coffee next
leaves. Like
time.
tea is just like leaves. Like you put some leaves in your
So
water.
why
and
does it
take
get
out.
gross when you go from beans to leaves with milk?
From beans.
Do you think that was just how
like,
you were raised?
there's more to it. Like
Yeah,
when,
I
it's,
mean,
when it's like a
milk on
bean.
leaves is weird, but milk on beans is weird.
No.
Milk on beans, actually sounds weirder.
Yeah, it does.
'Cause
It does.
it's like Golden Crisp, right? Like Golden Crisp looks like little beans, and that's cereal, and you put milk on that.
So because of the cereal,
so
it's
it's a little
just ruined his
connection
whole
like that.
outlook.
yeah.
It makes
You've
it
won
okay.
me over.
Do you want me to send you a Bitmoji about it?
Gus, in all seriousness, what could I do to get you to never send me a Bitmoji
How
ever
much
again?
money?
See, initially I started using it ironically, and then
I can tell that that's long gone and you
that's
bloody
long
love
gone.
it.
Then I'm
You
just like
love it.
It's the same thing with the vaping.
embraced.
What about the vaping, dude?
So
Did you guys smoke before cigarettes?
No, don't
No.
now either.
Maybe if I was drunk once in a while.
It's so weird that you just want to vape.
Yeah, how did
It's
you
not that weird, I
even
guess,
get
but-
into?
It started literally as a bit. My roommate that I lived with in my previous place, he vaped 24/7, and he would talk like a bro, and that's how the Kid Bro voice came too. Because I would just with him do it as a bit together because we make each other laugh. And then I was like, "Let me hit your vape. Let me hit your vape." And then eventually he's like, "I have an extra." And I was like, "Can I buy it off you?" He's like, "Yeah, for sure." And then I started doing it ironically for the videos entirely. Like it was really stupid and funny. And then we just kept doing it, and then I always had it. And then Steve would do it, and then he got one, and then James got one, and now everybody's vaping. It's just literally the whole laws of addiction.
Truly, yeah, nicotine turns out it's really addictive. Like
But I
we
feel
didn't,
like
we
cigarette
had, we
companies
had
knew
no
we're
idea.
onto something. Who knew?
Guys, I
Never-
think nicotine
never
might be
tried
addictive.
The only
think?
issue that we are facing currently is if we vape too much, I think it could lead to popcorn lung.
And we do vape too much.
What's
What is-
popcorn love?
Tell me
It's where
about
your
that.
lung fills with fluid and you have to get it drained. And then maybe it becomes a chronic issue, maybe it doesn't. It's just a risk that we're trying to take right now.
But that doesn't happen with cigarettes or weed or anything.
True.
Why do they call it popcorn lung?
I don't think it's called popcorn lung. It's something popcorn lung something else. I think this is like what else is it? Is it something else or is it popcorn lung for the
I think it's popcorn lung.
thought there was
Absolutely it
two
is. I don't know
versions.
why it's called popcorn lung, but
When you Google that, don't look at images.
Yeah, that would be gross.
It's sometimes caused by breathing in a chemical used to flavor microwave popcorn.
Oh, so it's not popcorn.
maybe that chemical is also used in vape
Could be.
juice.
Is it a glycerin, a vegetable glycerin perhaps, or a
What if
I'm
you
loading it. That was just the summary.
chug a load of vape juice?
you would probably have a nicotine,
Nicotine
overdose
overdose,
and
yeah.
wind up with nicotine poisoning.
Ah,
There is
didn't
a
know
thing.
that was a thing.
And now you know.
I tried
Now I
it,
know.
nothing
Ting!
happened.
So educational. You tried it.
That was a lie, Gavin. I'm sorry. I was trying to make my life sound a lot cooler for you because I
Di-
really I look up to you
diacetyl.
guys.
Pretty cool. Like,
Diacetyl.
And it's used in many electronic cigarette flavors.
E-cigarettes are,
Bangarang.
oh, flavors, yeah. Okay, so it could be or could not be in the
So
juice
why don't we
we're
just
using.
not get vape juice with that in it?
It probably doesn't exist, and it probably is used in all vape liquids, I would assume.
And that's a simple answer. And there you
Yeah.
go. We're gonna get popcorn lung. Do you guys have any addictions?
But it'll be delicious.
I don't think I have a very addictive, I don't know.
Personality?
I've drunk booze a lot.
Mhm.
I've never thought, man, I could do with a beer.
Well, that's how I
No.
feel about vaping, actually. Like, I have not vaped for several days because I just left it somewhere and didn't have it. I didn't think about it until I saw it again and went, oh, yeah, I like vaping, so I continue to vape. I don't vape because, I need it, I feel an urge for it. If it's there, I'll do it because I like
Yeah,
it.
I've certainly never had a craving for anything to be like, I just need to get this right now. And I
Not
don't have
chocolate or anything like that?
It. Nah.
Really? No food cravings ever?
Yorkshire
No, I mean,
tea?
I might sometimes feel like, oh yeah, I could do with that. I'm never going to go out and get it.
Really? You've never been like Jones and for some
I've never
dirty
jonesed
cheeseburger,
hard enough to
some
not.
cheeseburger dipped in shit.
I'll just eat. I'll just eat something else. Maybe like a urine-filled sock.
But that doesn't cut it when you want something. So you just really, really don't have an addictive
Sounds like you have
personality.
a life that hasn't come from trauma.
I would say that's accurate.
Do you have
privileged
something-
life.
do you
Not a
have-
lot of
do you have
stress.
something you don't want to talk about?
that
Or
we
do you
can
not
talk
have
about.
something you don't want to
Sounds
talk
like I
about?
have nothing to talk about. Everything went great.
How was your childhood? How's your childhood? Who hurt you?
My childhood was fine.
Who didn't hurt you?
Who didn't? Who should have?
Maybe an uncle, a great uncle.
All right. Well, I can get in touch with them and make it happen. So.
I think I drink too much. I actually
Really?
went last week. I didn't drink for a week to see if I could make it.
How often do you drink then? What's too much?
There is
Every-
no too much, and I drink every day.
Every day?
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't picture that actually with you.
Yeah. See,
Are you drunk right now? But do you get drunk or do you just have a couple beer? Because that's very different. I feel like.
I don't think I get drunk.
Okay, well you're drunk then.
Oh, yeah,
If
you're
you don't
drunk
know
for
where
sure.
you are, you're
No,
drunk.
no, like you said, I hold it together. People are like, "Wow, I didn't know you were wasted."
Yeah, true.
Same kind of thing.
But I knew I was wasted.
Miles slaps me in the stomach, and I've tried to vomit into a milk crate.
I passed out naked on the floor, wake up in a pool of my own sweat, vomit, and cum, and still didn't know if I was drunk or not, but I'll figure out one of these days.
Speaking of which, I think I got roofied once by accident.
By accident?
Did you roofie yourself?
That's usually how they happen.
Like, I was out with a friend of mine, and we were at a bar downtown.
Uh-huh.
And I wasn't out very late. Like I just had like 2 beers at the bar, and I went home. And this was years ago. And I launched World of Warcraft. Like I'm gonna play some World of Warcraft.
Fuck yeah.
And
Did you play
then-
Guild Wars 2 real quick?
What's that?
Guild Wars 2?
I never did.
All right, continue.
Then next thing I knew, I woke up the next morning, and I was like laying face down in my bathroom naked. I was like, "What the fuck happened?"
Well, there is blackout drunk, but
but it was 2 beers,
oh, you were
and I didn't
absolutely roofied every time.
right? And I didn't keep drinking.
Both
Like,
beers
I-
had roofies.
Yeah, I sat down to play a video game. Luckily, I was at home,
Who
and then
would
I
want
woke
to
up.
roofie you
was the
like
next
at a
day.
bar?
I don't know if it
You
was like
sweet soul.
I don't know if it was if I took someone else's beer or what was going on.
Did you take someone else's beer?
I took what was given to me.
Wow.
Who were you with at the time?
A good friend I've known for a long time.
He or she?
He.
He
Oh,
did
he
it.
roofied you. Were you sore in any certain places?
I was fine. Totally okay.
Well, it's funny because Steve, every time we go out, he roofies himself, his own drink. Just
Try
to
set
amp
up
the
the
night
night
up.
for.
Then you're a cheap drunk. Right? You don't need to drink very
He
much.
roofies himself and comes on to me.
Oops.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, it's never happened to me. I've certainly got surprisingly drunk off little alcohol before, but I think that's just depends on how much you ate or like
Yeah.
how tired you are.
Definitely, same.
Big factor.
Couple beer and you're like, wow, I am too drunk right now.
Yeah, to the point where everyone's like, "How did you drink before we went out?"
And then people are like, you had 2 beers, dude. And you're like, okay, get off my back.
They were
Sorry, I'm
they,
drunk.
they were tall boys.
Yeah, they were tall boys. That's 1.5 pal.
They're big.
Do you guys often take bathroom breaks on this podcast?
No.
Oh, do you need to pee really bad?
Nah, I don't.
We're about to wrap up here in a couple minutes, so you're good. One last thing I wanted to bring up before we go. Remember that app Musically?
Yeah.
Did you see?
Oh, where people like lip
It's-
sync to crap.
Right. Do you see it's sold today
For $1 billion?
$1 billion.
What?
That was a guess. $1 billion.
$1 billion.
I don't understand. Was it like $1 billion?
The estimate is between 800 million and $1 billion.
Do
Well,
they
you wanna
have
know
like
why?
a stipulation where if they reach a certain goal, then they get another billion, or is it just flat out $1 billion?
All I saw was that flat out $1 billion.
Do you want to know why, though? I mean, it's pretty obvious if you've seen like how large people get, how quickly these kids get, and like young teenagers get on Musically. They get like 22 million followers. All of them. Every last one of
Jesus
them.
Christ!
It's insane. For literally
But-
just going,
They also said though that their engagement
22 million followers.
their engagement peaked last summer. Like
Oh.
it's been downhill since like last summer. They don't have as many people.
I
on,
haven't heard the name mentioned in months.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Those were the
still,
most popular
$1 billion.
vines, right? When people would lip sync to songs anyway. So then they just made a whole app about that. What a weird business model.
And now they're doing it with animojis, right? Like you seen that.
Musically's like got big sex appeal to it. Like everyone's trying to be hot on Musically. Like it's not funny.
But you said it was kids.
Well, that's what I mean. They're still trying to be like the teenagers and everything. They're dancing and being sexy so that all these other younger kids follow them on it. And
Soon it'll be robots doing it.
yeah, it will be
They'll be doing the robot.
sexually.
Is it too much Inception?
The robot doing the robot.
Yeah.
And robot has never
there's
taught
couples
itself
on
to
Or
there.
robot.
do you think a robot would be offended? Like, we don't move like that. There's a highly offensive name for this band.
Racist.
Right.
Stereotype.
Robots sue the company.
We'll get to that point in the future. All right.
Has a robot ever sold something?
What is that? What?
Like, has a robot ever come up with something that's sold for human money?
No.
Like a robot developed something?
I should
No.
have said no because I don't know.
Like
But I
robots
imagine
make
no.
cars, right? Like there's robots on car factory
Yeah,
lines.
but a robot didn't come up with the car.
No, like
has
a robot that had an idea.
with AI ever painted and sold it?
That has to have happened, right?
So does a robot have a bank account?
I don't think a robot can have a bank account.
Well, don't discriminate.
Whoever made the robot.
I don't. It's the bank. It's not me.
Fair enough.
If it was me, I would totally open a bank
I bet the
account for a
first
robot.
robot-friendly bank will sell for $1 billion.
Oh, easily. or billion bitcoins or whatever.
Robots
they
will
use.
be the middle class, and all the humans will be just be pilgrims.
Have you guys invested in Bitcoin?
I
My
bought
dad
I bought a
has.
Bitcoin this year actually. I bought one. It was in like
A
July.
full Bitcoin?
Yeah, it was like $2,500.
Oh, so
What's
it's
it worth
worth
now?
way more than
Now
that.
it's
now.
like $7
over
grand.
8,000.
Jesus.
My dad mines them. He's got like the Bitcoin miners. You know what I mean? You guys familiar with how you
Yeah.
get it? So he's got like a whole like 6 of them in his basement that are basically just GPUs, like really strong GPUs.
Is that even profitable though at this point?
Not anymore. No, I mean you'd
Just
have
like
to. There
electricity?
are the top of the line ones are always profitable, but you have to still invest now like $5,000, and then you'll start making money after you make that back. But his models aren't, and so they're profitable for a little bit, and then they just become obsolete.
Yeah, at what point does it like cost more electricity than you're earning off
in
of
Canada, it's
Bitcoin?
cold, so my dad would actually use them as heating because they would produce
Oh.
so much heat in the basement.
That's genius.
Bottom floor, he would use that to heat the bottom floor.
Your
and then
underfloor heating is mining you money.
literally,
That's great.
very little. But it was more so about like having it and saving it until it got to this point. But I think he got too impatient and he probably
I had to
sold out
convince
another-
myself for a while to get one because it's like the most money I've ever spent on not like a nothing. Like you don't get it. But
feels
if
like a
you think of
stock.
it as like just like a kind of weird bank account, then it's not really spending it.
Truly.
You just have to hope that it goes
I
up.
made like $300 on Bitcoin, like
Yeah.
day trading. I would go on like it's called BTCE, one of them, and you literally just buy, sell, all that jazz.
So, like in the same day.
Yeah, you literally buy low, sell high. You know what your
Classic.
profit margins are, and I did that like 4 trades a day of making money.
Oh,
and
okay.
over like a month, I made like $300.
Yeah, I guess I don't have that speed. Like when I bought it, it was like 2 days later that I had it.
It's really cool because you feel like you're in the Wolf of Wall Street. You're like, buy, sell. I just made $3. Taking this run to the bank, baby. And then I got bored and didn't have enough time.
But I think what a lot of people are doing now is they're just seeing it going up, and it's like, man, I should have bought it when it was 2,000.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, but when it was 2,000, it was just like 700 like a few
Yeah.
weeks before. So it's like,
It keeps go-
should you buy it now at 7,000?
Right.
'Cause
It's like,
it could
where do you
easily
think the
tank
top
as
is?
well.
You also don't have to buy a whole thing. You can just buy like a
$30
grand's
in
worth
Bitcoin,
of
yeah.
Bitcoin. yeah.
Isn't right now the peak of where it's going to be at? Pretty
I
much.
think now it's like
No,
the most of where it's
not at
ever
all.
been, but
It's-
it's like who knows
but
where
it's
it'll go.
reached 7 or so before, right?
No,
And then it
not
dipped?
even close. Not 7. It's.
I had
think
an Uber driver explain to me Bitcoin for over an hour when I was driving
It's
back
never
from
hit
LAX,
7.
but I was blackout drunk, so I didn't hear a word he said.
It started off extremely low, like any altcoin, and then it went up to like a couple thousand, and then it went down.
and there are
it
other
went back up
coins,
to a
right?
couple
They're
thousand.
like
Oh,
light
and the,
coins or something.
millions. They're just called
Yeah,
altcoins, and they're
Ethereum.
all
on the year. It's up by
Do
like
they do alt-right
1,000%.
absolutely.
I feel
And
like
I
we
have
need
so
Joel
many
here
of
to tell
explain
us why we're all
Bitcoins.
dumb.
All right. Well, we need to wrap up. Before we go, I just want to remind everyone to check out the Rooster Teeth store and remind you that if you're a first members get 5% off of all purchases, even if you buy something like this.
Aw.
Is that a lightsaber sound?
Yes, it's a lightsaber. It's mine.
Yep.
So check it out. Do all your holiday shopping there, and it's right there. Cut away from me. Go to the wide. All right.
Do you boys have to make pee-pee?
Yeah,
yeah,
we'll
let's
go.
do it.
We'll go with
So
you.
we'll
All right.
peep.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for having us.
Hey there, this is Gus. We've got a special supplementary portion of the podcast here. We're joined by a couple of guests. We got Richard Turner and Luke Coram. Richard is the subject of a documentary that Luke directed called Dealt, which just came out, right? End of October?
Yeah, just released October 20th.
And Gavin, of course, is over there.
Yeah, we don't want to forget Gavin.
So I thought it was a really interesting documentary, and some of the producers on Dealt were also some of the producers who worked on Crunch Time, which is a series that Rooster Teeth distributed last year. And that's how I got in touch with you guys. I think I ran into Andrew Lee, and he talked to me about the premise of the film. I thought it would be awesome to have you guys on, and I got a chance to check it out. And I thought, well, we should absolutely have Richard on to show us his stuff.
And I'll just be the sidekick. Yeah, I'm just here to watch.
And that's why I always hurt. He's always kicking me in the side.
So, Richard, how would you describe what it is that you're known for or that you do?
Well, I'm known as a card mechanic, and people are, in the casino industry, they know that term. Outside of it, it's a little not quite as familiar, but if you go back 150 years, it was very well known. A card mechanic is somebody who can control the outcome of a card game. In other words, pick up a deck of cards and make anybody win or lose at will. And those techniques are really, really, really difficult to acquire. In fact, during the days of the Old West, your average hustler would spend half their life learning 1 or 2 moves, and that's what they lived on. I just spent my life putting in a whole lot more hours and learning many, many, many moves.
So yeah, like you said, it makes sense that casinos would know this term, but that most people wouldn't know this term because in my mind it was just card tricks or magic, and it's not those things at all. And you spend quite a bit of time in the documentary talking about the difference between what it is that you do versus those other terms.
Actually, I grew up performing magic. That's how I met Richard.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my dad made his living as a professional magician back in the 80s. And so I grew up around it my whole life and performed till I was a teenager. But the first time I saw what Richard can do and what we're about to watch, my jaw hit the floor because it is not like anything you've ever seen a magician do before.
Yeah, it's magical. But it's not. Again, it's not magic.
Yeah.
And just so you understand the other side of it, a magician cannot do the work for the card table, but the people that work the card table, a mechanic can do the stuff a magician can do.
It makes me think about, I saw Penn Jillette actually give a speech about how he does card tricks, and it's totally different. You know, he said when he goes into a card trick, he doesn't know ultimately what trick he's going to perform. It's as cards are drawn and as he has interaction with the audience that it narrows down. He starts from a wide net and then it narrows down very precisely, whereas you are in control of the deck the entire time and you know what's going on.
Or I can take a deck that you have controlled and take control and put it back the way I want it.
True. So you want to give us a little demonstration of what we're talking about?
Okay, here's a deck for you and a deck for me. Just take your deck, cut it any way you want.
All right.
Now give it an up the river cut.
I already screwed it up. Okay.
Give it an alternating up the river cut.
All right.
Give it a flying three-way.
I'm not as fast as you. I'm not as good as you.
Now break them. This is casino procedure. Break them in half, 26, 26.
Oh, God.
Okay. Now lace them up nice and even every other card. Do that twice. Lace them up nice and even.
It was not nice or even.
Okay. Now give it what's called a strip cut. A bunch of random piles again. Once again, break them in half. I'll do this nice and slow, nice and even.
Okay.
And give the deck just a regular straight cut. That's basic casino procedure.
Okay.
So I've shown you a half a dozen ways of shuffling and cutting the deck. They should be pretty evenly mixed, yes?
Yes.
Hold your cards off the table. Let's see how evenly mixed the deck is. Does that look even? We have ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, jack, queen, ace, 2, 3, suited numerically, yes?
Absolutely.
I shuffled them back into perfect numerical order. See, I don't like the random stuff. It confuses the old brain.
Just immediately. That's crazy.
All right, and Gavin, here's a deck for you. Shuffle them up, have them ready to go. Pass that deck. Now, this deck is scrambled, messed up by you.
Here you go.
Now, I'll give you a for instance of what a mechanic can do. I'll give the deck a cut, and we will burn a card. You've played blackjack, I'm sure.
Yes.
You're sitting at Benny Benion's place. He'll let you make any bet, any amount, as long as it's your first bet. First of all, pick a number of players at the table. 3, 4, or 5. Pick a number.
Let's say 4.
Where are you seated? 1, 2, 3, or 4?
We'll do 4.
You want the fourth position. 1, 2, 3. This is you.
Okay.
At a 4-player table, and you have a $500,000 sitting on this hand. What's that first card?
It's an ace.
And what's that?
10.
And you just walked out with $1.25 million. But see, you just shuffled, shot, chose the number of players, chose where you wanted to sit. In the time I dealt, I took care of business for you.
Right.
Make sense?
From the deck that I handed you.
You just messed up.
Right.
Are those all face down?
They are.
Mess them up some more.
Okay. They're messing up is a good
shuffle.
way to describe it.
Yeah. Pass that deck.
Here it is.
All right.
Oh, wait.
Well, come on now,
There you
Gavin.
go.
Keep the
was
things
aggressive,
in
I'm
order. Messy, messy, messy. Have you ever played in a private card game?
Sure.
Where the deck is passed around the table. You know, it's your deal, it's Gavin's deal, it's Luke's deal, it's my deal. You just handed me a shuffle deck. Watch. I'm going to use the same procedure like you're doing there, and I'm going to do what's called cull a slug. And once again, you do a bunch of random piles and another riffle and a cut. Again, that's basic casino procedure. Now, after the fact, you're going to tell me how many people step up to my table. Pick a number of players, 5, 6, 7. What should we have?
5.
5 players. Hold your cards off the table out of the way.
All right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Burn, and we have what's called the flop. We're dealing Texas Hold'em. And what is that card, Gus?
You got a 3, jack, and ace there.
Burn, what's that?
Ace.
Burn, what's that?
6.
And you're my partner sitting over here in hand number 4. Let's see what you have in the pocket. What's that?
Ace.
What's that?
Ace.
You killed him. But you just shuffled. You chose 5 players. I took care of business for you.
So you're saying that we should never play at a private game? Well, unless it's with people we know very well.
Yeah, very good. Make sure they're all one direction. But the question is how many people can actually do what you're seeing. That is the thing. Not that it takes this type of work to cheat unsuspecting people, mind you. Here, I'll show you some moves. Hand me the deck.
There you go.
Name a card.
Let's say the 5 of hearts.
Pull out the 5s.
All of the 5s.
All 5 of them, yes. Set them right here.
1, 2. I'm looking for them.
There's only 4.
4. Yeah, 4.
Okay. We were wondering if he was going to catch on, right, Gavin? You got them in your hand?
No, they
Hold
are
on to 'em.
in my hand now.
Hang on to them. Hang on to them. Hand them to me face up.
Face up. There you go.
That's so you can see them. What's your favorite suit? Spade, diamond, club, or heart?
Well, let's do club.
Take the club. That's the one that looks like a puppy foot.
There you go. I got it.
All right. I'll leave the other 3 on the bottom. You with me?
Yes.
I'll educate you. Hand me the 5 of clubs face up. Watch the 5 of face up.
Face up.
5 of clubs. I want the 5 of clubs. So what happens is I deal cards around the table to the other players. Only when I'm ready do I deal the 5 of clubs. Watch face up. See how the card stays as the second card is dealt. But you have to deal it like you're dealing from the top. And they're not off the bottom. The other 5s haven't moved, and the first card dealt is not a 5. Watch again. I'll deal it really slowly for you. 5 on top, yes? 5 on top. See, I'm the dealer, and I have a 16. I hit the other places, the other players. The game is blackjack, and that 5 would equal 21. Watch again. This is slow motion, completely exposed. See how the card stays. Here's one-handed, one-handed. Now, when the 5 is face down, it's never face up during play. See, you can't tell you've been swindled. Isn't that fun?
Can't tell at all.
But that's called dealing seconds. Dealing seconds.
And Richard, how many times have you done the second deal?
The second deal I have done in front of a live audience over 5 million times.
Wow.
That one move.
I've not done that. Anything 5 million times.
Yeah, and probably not even breathing. But in practice, I've done it over 100 million times.
How often do you practice, or how long do you practice?
I practice, well, here, I'll give you for instance. I practice, well, now I only practice 3 to 10 hours a day. But for years, I practiced 10 to 20 hours a day, 7 days a week, for 26 years straight. Pick a number 10 to 20, Gavin.
17.
Watch, this will give you an idea of what we're talking about. We'll try cutting 17 cards. Can you count them one on top of the other? See how close to 17 we got.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Gavin's eyes just got huge.
So to be able to, to go down and hit the number that fast is tough. I'll do it again. Any number 1 to 52, but don't say 52, because I pass the deck and nobody cares.
You want me to do it?
Yeah, pick
Or either.
Oh, okay. Let's say 25.
2-5?
Yes.
Half a deck?
Yes.
Okay, not quite half a deck. Okay, so you see how close here.
Got it?
Well, I think I
1,
missed out.
2, 3,
One.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25.
And then, of course, let's see here. I'll show you. What are those cards?
All the 5s.
Oh, your 5s.
Yes.
I'll show you another one of the purposes. Well, here's another move. 5s down in the cellar, yes? Down on the bottom. Because you've heard the old westerns, the gamblers back then, you've heard of them dealing off the bottom?
Right.
4, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5, 5. Is that a 5?
It is not.
Someone's cheating.
Someone's cheating. What's that?
5, 5, 5, 5.
See, right under your nose with prior knowledge, I dealt your 5s from the bottom.
And
So-
in the film, I gotta tell you this, I remember we brought him in a studio, and for 2 days we filmed all of his card work with close-up macro lenses, under glass bottom tables, like all these moves. And I was like, Richard, before we do this, I just want to make sure you know what we're about to do. And I was like, are you sure this is okay? And he goes, yeah, no one can do it anyway, so it's fine.
Is there anybody else even anywhere close to the caliber of being a card mechanic like you are?
There's a couple, one named Steve Forty, who's in the film. He's a genius's genius. The guy is brilliant, amazing. Another, he's got a student of mine named Jason England. He's amazing. He started working on my stuff about 27 years ago, and he first saw me when he was 11 years old when I was on a TV show called That's Incredible, filmed in 1981. But Jason, he's been working on some of my moves for 20 years and just starting to get them. So it shows you it takes a lot of effort.
It was. I mean, does he ever get discouraged? Like, I think if I worked on something for 20 years and it took me that long to start getting something, I'd say like, maybe I should find something else to do.
Yeah. Well, I had another guy who was a well-known mechanic named Larry Jennings. I showed him one of my shifts, and he worked on it for 10 years and said, I can't get it, and he just gave up.
Wow.
So, but it does. That I call myself the poster boy for obsessive compulsive behavior. I'm proud of it too, because not many people are wired in a way that, as my son says, he never stops. I'll go all day, all night, and the only time I stop is long enough to work out or to eat.
Well, you also work out while you're shuffling cars, too.
That's true. Well, you know, to kill 2 rocks with one bird. Or in this case, to kill 2 rocks with one rooster with teeth.
Yeah, good one. So do you have, like, in your lifetime, how many decks of cards do you think you've gone through?
Oh, tens of thousands. I actually built a card castle. My wife, you can see it on when I was on a TV show called Ripley's Believe It or Not with Jack Palance back in '84. And I had a 6-bedroom house, and one bedroom had nothing but boxes like this big, overflowing, not in the case, just random cards. I'd throw them in there because I thought, what if they ever made cards illegal, or we went through some drought? So I just saved them for the decades. And then my wife Kim said, can we do something with these cards? I mean, you take up a whole room. And I thought, well, what am I going to do? I have too many to build a card house. I'll build a card castle. So I literally glued them together, and I used 8 gallons of Elmer's wood glue. It weighs 825 pounds, and the rest of them I threw away, but to build this castle. And it's on display at the 2nd largest Ripley's in the country, Ripley's Believe It or Not in San Antonio. And so I was on the TV show Ripley's Believe It or Not. My card castle is on display in Ripley's Believe It or Not. And then 2015, I have been certified as an oddball. I have the certificate. You might be odd. But I'm certified. You're not. They said you're in the 2015 issue of Ripley's Believe It or Not book of eye-popping oddities. and then I had a piece of paper that certified that I'm an oddball.
So can you tell the difference between like different card manufacturers?
Oh, big time. Oh, yeah. In fact, that's like asking if Liberace can tell the difference between a piano that was a piano that sat in a church for 80 years and one that's the Steinway's top. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I can within 2 seconds out of the box, I can tell you which direction they were cut. I can give you 6 elements.
He's the touch analyst for U.S. Playing Card Company.
Oh, really?
They actually, about 30 years ago, he called them up and told them that when they were cutting the cards, like stamping them out of the paper, that the blade was going through the wrong side of the card, and also that the moisture level was off and the thickness in the card stock. And they're like, who is this guy? And they put him on retainer. And to this day, they send Richard decks of cards that are unmarked, and that he feels the difference. And they say he can feel within 1/1000th of an inch difference of a card.
Yeah.
Wow.
So cards like this and a Bicycle and B, you can actually buy a gold seal deck, and when you open it up, there's a card that says tested and approved by Richard Turner.
And Bicycle's the most recognized label. All the cards are made by U.S. Playing Card Company. This is their premium product. They started making these in 1892. That's what the 92 stands for on the box. Bicycle back in the 1880s, and it's the most recognized label is Bicycle. But this has always been their premium. They make Hoyle, Tally-Ho, Kim, and just about every other deck. Other than now, there's competitions out of China and other countries, but they're not nearly the quality that you get from U.S. Playing Card Company.
Interesting. So, like we said, this movie just came out a couple weeks ago. Like, what made you, I guess, agree to be the subject of this film? Was it just wanting to more people to know what it is that you do with these cards?
I've already been seen on many shows all over the world, and so I wasn't looking for any more notoriety. In fact, I actually turned down 2 offers to make a made-for-TV movie because I said I'm too young. And then I actually had 5 years ago I had an offer out of L.A., an offer out of New York, and the Texans to do a feature documentary on my life. And I had sent Luke's previous film called Lord Montagu about an English aristocrat to a friend of mine named Dave McFadzean. He co-created and produced a TV series called Home Improvement with Tim Allen. And movies like What Women Want with Mel Gibson. And anyway, we've been friends since the 70s. And I said, Dave, take a look at this guy. These guys, this is one of the companies that are asking to do a film. And he watched that film. He said, these guys are good. I would go with them. And Luke didn't know he was being vetted.
Yeah, I didn't know any of that was going on. He just said he wanted to see my last film. That's about it.
Yeah. But anyway, and I'm glad I did, because Luke, I consider him more like a brother, even though he's easily young enough to be my son, because I'm in my 60s, he's in his 30s. But he has that same focused, obsessive nature.
We're slightly both obsessive about things. I'm obsessive about film. Richard's obsessed with cards. So
Yes.
we get along pretty well.
Exactly. He would sit there for 12, 14 hours on his with his editor and editing, and just going to the nth degree in the same way I did it with cards. He does it with film, and I think you probably, since you said you saw it, you saw the quality of the changes from scene to scene in the filming. And anyway, they did everybody that's seen the film have been really, really impressed with what these guys did. And I mean, we're 92 on Rotten Tomatoes, and that's pretty good for a Rotten Tomato, and we're not even a Rotten Tomato.
Yeah, I love documentaries. This is such an interesting subject for me to watch, and I was totally enthralled the whole time. So thank you so much for coming out and talking to us about the movie and showing us in person how you're able to work a deck like that. It's absolutely incredible.
You shuffle this deck. I'll do something to close out.
Okay.
You shuffle this deck? Yes,
I did,
yes?
yeah.
Oh, well, what is this mess here?
I left it in a line.
You sure the heck did. Okay, you shuffled up. Let's close out something fancy. Through the years, I had people openly challenge me to use my skills to try to beat them. I had this guy, he owned a large commercial construction company. He wanted to cut high card for the pot. He cut a 10, and I cut, what's that card?
Ace.
Ace. He said, let's double it again. He cut a king, and I cut, what's that card?
It's ace.
Again, he asked to double. He cut a jack, and I cut, what's that card?
Ace.
And again, he asked to double. He cut another king, and I cut, what's that?
Ace.
Grab the card. Show the camera.
Pretty fancy.
That's the fancy way of shuffling.
Wow.
Cutting the high card.
Absolutely incredible. Thank you so much. If people want to check it out, the movie's called Dealt, and it's out now, right?
Yeah, you can watch it on iTunes, YouTube, Google Play, anything on all the platforms. You can watch it online right now.
And in the theaters and select theaters around the country, but all the other VODs.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and
Thank you
thanks
for
for
allowing
watching.
us to come.
Yeah,
Thanks for having
appreciate
us.
it.
Thanks.